collaboration with ESPA, and some changes to vehicle camo netting. All this and more as we dive into the Update 36.2 patch report. First up, Miramar's getting a visit from the K-pop group ESPA. All across the Badlands, you'll find concert venues, decor, and other visuals based on the group. Many other maps have ESPA visuals, such as themed care packages and planes as well. There's also an emote stage on the starting island of every 8x8 map for you to perform some of their most iconic tracks, including their latest hit. Next up, vehicle camo netting is seeing a durability improvement and is being added to Rondo and Tago this update as well. The improved durability only applies to bullet damage, and there are still some conditions in which the netting is instantly destroyed, so check out the patch notes for full details. The clan system is also getting some love. There are new ways to show off your achievements, including a new weekly ranking page, along with new clan tag plates. Full details in the patch notes. There's also a new Survivor Pass. Regions with duo mode can now choose one-man duo in normal and ranked. And we've tackled some bugs, so be sure to check out the patch notes for details on everything. Update 36.2 is here, so park the car in a safe spot and get ready to rock out with ESPA. We'll see you on the battlegrounds.
Oh my god, we killed them both! Whoa! Holy
That car keeps rolling.
Holy shit.
Oh, up there. Guess I'll
He's down.
Oh, hell no. Yoink.
Tree's still jagged. Go, bro, go, bro. Yeah, the thing's gonna go quick. Where are you gonna go? No way. Oh my god. Yeah.
Oh, shot.
What? No way. No freaking way.
Welcome to the PUBG Players Tour. This year, we're introducing structured competitive play in third-person perspective mode for players of all ranks, levels, and ability. Here's how it works in EMEA and Americas. PUBG Players Tour competition is held in 2-week phases. Each week, you and your squad can compete in player scrims. Think of these as a great alternative to ranked play. Each day of scrims will feature a variety of maps, with defined team and lobby sizes to ensure a balanced best-of-3 rounds. Teams will earn points based on their performance, and daily leaderboards will track their progress. When the scrims are over, the top teams will qualify for the PUBG Players Tour Cups, where they will be joined by up to 10 invited teams, featuring some of the best players in the region. Players Cup leaderboards will track team performances across 2 days of play, with the top 8 squads progressing to the final round of competition. Players Masters are the pinnacle of the PUBG Players Tournament. 8 teams from each of the 2 cups will engage in fierce competition for a huge prize pool in each region across the PUBG Players Tour season. And for times when a Players Masters isn't scheduled, you can still get your PUBG Players Tour fix with Super Cups. These work just like Masters events, where again, 16 teams, 8 from each of the 2 previous Players Cups, compete for a share of the total cash prize pool. Welcome to the PUBG Players Tour. You know the game. Be a player.
Welcome back, everyone. We are about to enter day number 2 of 3 of this weekend's PUBG Players Tour Super Cup. My name is Cameron Davis, joined by Godspeed. We had a great day yesterday. Who is it? Luminosity is still at the top. Mira really close behind. They're neck and neck at the moment. Will they remain up there? We have 2 more days of play to see. But Godspeed, before we get into everything, how are you doing?
I'm doing well. I'm looking forward to today. Yesterday was pretty fun. I'd like to see some of the teams that struggled yesterday, mainly just in the team fights, see if they're able to kind of bring something else to the table today, because that's kind of the story of the right side of the leaderboard yesterday. Is they just couldn't win fights. They were getting fights with teams like LG, potentially Dangerous even was popping off, and yeah, let's just see if they can turn that around today.
Yeah, I mean, one thing to note, and we'll go over this a little bit more again when we see the overall leaderboard, but one thing to note is that because we have 2 teams that are taking so many points at the top, that does mean that there is a lot of movement. It's easier to make moves in the middle and even towards the bottom of that leaderboard. But let's go and look at the format, what we will be playing today. It is a best of 12 series over the course of 3 days, so we get 4 maps a night. That means no repeat maps. It's a quick little one and done. You don't get a chance until the very next day.
Correct. And I think it's kind of fun that way. I mean, we obviously in the 6-game format, you get double Miramars, you get double Arangles with the sandwich of Dago and Rondo in the middle, but this way kind of incentivize teams as well to not play as kind of reserved as they normally would, knowing that they have, like, you know, 2 Miramars and Arangles in the pocket. So it's fun. I definitely enjoy this kind of short and sweet quick format. I think it's great, and I think as well for the teams, you know, playing 5 or 6 games in this format is it's much easier to play the 4. We'll just say that.
Yeah. It's stuff is very stressful. Stuff is very fast as well with the point system that we have going on. Only 5 points for a win, still 1 point per kill, but that means kills are more valuable. It means we see a lot more camps going on. That can really up the stress, but we do have the prize pool as well. There is still a lot to play for. Like I said, if you make it up to 8th, you start to get money in the pocket. And as you know, assuming Mira and Luminosity continue to run away with things, it doesn't require that outstanding of a day to jump even from 12th to 8th up to 4th, or maybe even be one of the teams to compete for 3rd. That might be a stretch, but hey, we've seen some ridiculous comebacks as well.
Yeah, we could definitely see a team hop it from 8th to 5th, or even 4th place. I think could be feasible. But yeah, I mean, you're also looking at an increase from 100 to 175, even 200, $400. So for a free little event like this, I think it's wonderful to you know, just go for it, because it's still free money essentially at the end of the day, right?
Yeah, exactly. And here is what we were teasing about. Luminosity, 44 points. Team Mira, 42. And then it's a massive drop-off down to Rezav in 29. Rezav looked good. Rock Esports looked good. Alcucia looked good. Bestia started good. Tapered off a little bit towards the end.
Yeah.
But just look at how slow the points drop off. Even, I mean, D1, they only have 2 points after 4 games of play, that's pretty weak. But, you know, one really, really good game, they could be up there tied with potentially dangerous. We saw a couple of teams get that many points out of one game. You just got to start fragging from the very beginning, and you can't stop. And that's, I mean, Team Mira have shown they can do it. Luminosity have shown they can do it. Can anyone else?
I think definitely a few other teams can do it. Rock, Alcacia, obviously, Besta, you said it best. They did start well yesterday, and then they kind of tapered off. But, I mean, even for the teams on the right side of the leaderboard, again, this is just an opportunity for practice. And then if we do happen to see a team like D1 or Cuatro Conos or Youngblood's, a team that I actually really like watching, I think they do a lot right as far as their macro, but they just need to kind of put it together when it comes to their actual team fights and mechanics. It's just a good way for them to build confidence as well as they start to kind of get some more points here or there, and they maybe win a fight against like one of the bigger teams, like, you know, a Bestia or a Mira or an LG, which is very possible. I think that'll be great, and I think that will be kind of the start of what'll help them, whichever team it is on the right side, kind of make that climb.
Yeah, because there's not that much of a gap between this event and the next leg of the PPT. If I'm not mistaken, the next scrims, which would then qualify you to the next cup, which would then qualify you to the next Masters, that starts on Monday, I think. So yeah, like just keep grinding, keep getting that experience, and keep leveling up.
Yeah, I think the next cups are like the 9th or the 10th or something like that. So again, there's really not much time in between when we finish, you know, tomorrow and the actual next start of the scrims and cups. So it's good. It also keeps players active. It gives them something to play in, right? Something that's organized instead of just playing ranked, which is great. But you know, it gives them that kind of competitive feel, and that's what's important, especially for a lot of these teams, again, who are new to this or newer, and where these names that we're starting to now get familiar with as they enter the cups more and more. That was a nice landing, Snickers on the bike, clean. I just think it's great practice, and it's more opportunities for, again, new blood to get into the scene, and that's what we want.
Yeah, so going into Miramar, very first match of the day. It's not exactly a hot drop, but there is a bit of a fight here between STS and 55. Sam Crow's going to get mollied. Gotta reload the gun, gotta reload the gun!
Oh, no.
Pistol reloads a bit faster than, what is that, a R98 right up close?
Yeah, kid. Oh, careful though, Sam Crow. Easy now. Pistol also needs to be reloaded. Yeah, that molly just went a little too far past Pippa, and he was able to survive. So again, that's not a big deal though. It is 1 point for 55, which is great, but because they're leaving, you know, we're going to see Systematicos come down. They're going to get that chip, or they should be able to get that chip, and they're going to go for the res. As you can see the M9 being fired from 55 just to let them know, hey, we got one of your boys.
Hey, you never know. Some bullet might hit, right? You might even get a crit.
It's 9 mil. I doubt that's gonna do much, even if it is a headshot from difference. I don't think it knocks from a distance with 9 mil, even without a helmet.
Don't we? When were we gonna introduce the critical hits in this game? We gotta have an extra level of RNG added to PUBG.
Interesting. Yeah, we can keep those out.
Just consider it. Just consider it.
I think I'll be the advocate for the players and say we can keep those out.
No, you sure? Okay. So Luminosity, though, they're in first place, and they actually, surprisingly enough, even with this plane path, which was quite bad, but bad in the opposite way from the very first map yesterday, no one still hot dropped them on Power Grid. I feel like Power Grid is the one place that you could always guarantee is going to be a hot drop because of how strong of a loot position it is. But I guess everyone else realized, you know what, it's really not worth it.
Well, also that, and it's you're probably gonna have a res point there, right? So if you do have that hot drop, which again you're absolutely correct, we see hot drops there almost every major, almost every tournament, every regional. Yeah. There's a team fighting for a hot drop, or teams fighting for a hot drop. We also have a res station, which is nice. That being said, challenging LG in this lobby is probably ill-advised, especially for the teams again that have less experience, because LG, especially because they have been getting hot drop there regionally for the last couple of months. They're going to be fairly practiced. So yeah, I'm not surprised that we don't see anyone contesting them there.
That makes me think, and this is just pure, hypothetical, right? Their success right now, I wonder if this is going to show them that if they actually do ever get hot dropped from Miramar again, maybe they should go, and like the difference, I don't know, it's one event, right? But who knows, maybe they'll realize that the difference between being hot dropped or not actually does make a big of a difference. It is only on Miramar though. That's only a third of the total maps played. In other events, only a quarter of maps played here.
And you also have to think like they've already fought for it, for so long, and they've pretty much come out on top, which is why they continue to loot there. That I feel like giving it up probably wouldn't be ideal. I mean, I do understand your point though. Getting hot drop, like it takes away from your early game. It takes away from your rotation. Granted, Power Grid's in a great position so that they can, you know, kind of take that extra time to take care of the fight because it is central. But yeah, I mean, if they feel comfortable in doing it, I think they're probably just going to keep dropping there.
Yeah. I think it's really easy for people to forget how complicated it is to get a brand new loot position, because you got to relearn not just the loot pathing itself, but also the rotations and the timings, and then you got to relearn the rotations of the teams that drop all around you. You got to understand how things are going to change depending on the different plane paths and the different circle 1 positions. Like, there's a lot of work that goes into it, and so even if there is the objective benefit of LG leaving, for example, like, is it worth the effort to do that?
Yeah, I mean, and then you have like other teams that have set plays for certain rotations and circles. Yeah, there's a lot for sure. I'm actually glad you brought that up, and you pretty much nailed it. There's so many different factors that you have to kind of think about.
No.
And, oh no! Damn, that thing slid all the way down. I don't think I've ever seen a bike slide like that.
Dude, that was greased up like
yeah,
a baking
it was.
pan.
But yeah, that's why we often see teams go for those hot drops, right? That's why we see teams that are pretty stubborn about where they do tend to loot, even if it's not a central position like Power Grid or Pachinki or you know, Picado, whatever, because teams have set play. They have rotations that they like. They know the timing of the teams around them, and it's a very involved process for sure.
Luminosity now, with the freedom of movement that they've had of not being hot dropped, they haven't really taken advantage of their closer to center position. They've kind of just hung out here. This could be them making the decision that they're in the lead, you know, not far ahead of Mira, but they're a pretty dominant lead compared to the rest of the lobby. Let's stay up here on this high ground, see what choke points we can catch, see what fights we can get into in the early game, and sort of keep this momentum rolling.
Yeah, and on top of the fact that, I mean, they're in circle, right? It is edge of circle to the northeast, but they have a lot of information that they can gather, as you said, like maybe look for a punish there. Ooh, speaking of punish. Oh, Jamu! Ayah, survive.
Should have gotten the tires.
I think he will. Tires would not have been a bad idea there. Agreed. I mean, RBN usually hits those. It is kind of difficult at distance, but yeah. Oh, Tavon is going to find no Nolzy, fortunately, but potentially dangerous. Will continue to find that early game success. They've actually found most of their success when it comes to kills, and I think they had like 6 kills back-to-back in 2 games in the early game. Very scrappy team in the early game, and they've actually felt out the lobby a bit and are starting to punish the teams around them that they know that they can.
Yeah, to that point, I think that a lot of this lobby, a lot of this today and tomorrow is going to be even more active. It was a bit of a slow start yesterday, especially compared to the cups that led up to it. And I want to say even especially compared to some of like the games that we saw during the Masters event. Granted, that was a different meta with the BRDM being as powerful as it was. But ooh, Kira for Happy Men's. This is the team that also like really needs to step it up in the early game. And it's going to be Kira that is able to get the knock and kill on Afar Rivero. A bit of a 180 from what we're used to seeing for Happy Men's involved in. But this is a good change. This is a good development.
Yeah, and it may be a simple thing, but I even like the smoke after, you know, just to make sure that he's safe, he can get the loot, and he can get the bike without getting potentially third-partied, which, or in this case, I guess it's a first-party, considering it was D1 that he, oh no, it actually wasn't even D1. It was a third-party. Yeah, okay, there we go. Yeah, but again, smart decisions there. I like that from Kira.
Yeah. Where was this on? Oh, this is on the south side. This is a little bit north of Valdemar. Rest of 4 Happy Men's, they're a bit scattered and split, and this is a part of Miramar that you have a bit more freedom to do so. But there is that entire western cliff. We talked about, well, I believe it was yesterday, right? The eastern cliff that was in play. This is a lot of it. Like a whole third of phase 1 is basically unplayable. So we could see more of these like one-off little kills. In fact, Doble's looking for one right now against RBN.
Yeah, the western cliff, they're essentially water at this point, right? Like, it's unplayable. The teams can't get there. There is a good face to play on that side on the west if you are camping. I think we see one team over there, but generally, the difficult thing about this circle really becomes those 2 central kind of valleys, right? Once the circle kind of splits and it starts to close, and we figure out, is it going to be on the west or the east side? If you're caught on the wrong side of that valley, rotating to the opposite side can be just very difficult and very punishing for teams.
Fantastic now running around. I wonder if that's a camp of the blue chip tower. But okay, D1, Razav, they're getting closer to each other. Fisher might be going on the hunt.
It looks like it, yeah.
Or are they were they running away from D1 approaching? Oh, VSS in
Oh,
play.
VSS Gaming?
Yes.
Okay. This thing's actually so good now. I mean, it was always a solid gun, right? But then they buffed it, and it's like, oh man, it's even it's actually really solid. Very underrated gun. Oh, Laucha though is gonna find Lucas. What a spray.
Whoa, wait. Okay, so this is a trap. Razav had set a trap onto D1. Oh, good knock though. Coming out a factor. Get at least a little bit of a trade. Makes this I believe a 2 versus 2. And the circle shifted, and it.
Did you see? I was
like
going to say, did you look at the
west.
circle, dude?
Yeah, that's like a hard shift to the west as well.
That's actually disgusting, dude. Holy.
Okay, how do you even play around this circle? It feels like half of it is open road.
Yeah, that dude. Okay, so I mean, I was talking about the valley that's on the east side of what is now that edge, and or what was old center. I didn't even talk about this valley because normally we don't see a circle go this far over towards the center of the west side of the map, and man, that is I don't even know how the hell do you play this. I mean, there's a few compounds that are on the west side underneath where DM are, but like you said, it's pretty much an open road. This is a very open circle.
Yeah, I think Quattro Konos, they're doing the best decision right now of just staying in their position that's on the edge and seeing what they can gatekeep. JMS trying to get some shots under rotating QAD. Didn't land too many bullets, so it's going to give Relo an opportunity to turn around on this. JMS
he's in
feels
trouble.
the heat. Yeah, looking to leave.
Very wise decision here. That could have ended in disaster for him. As we now switch over. I mean, this is the crazy thing to me as well. You have 60 players alive in this circle. It's phase 2. You would imagine, man, that's really Godspeed. What are you talking about? It's fine. It's not. There's so much of this circle is unplayable. And for 60 players, I mean, they just can't all fit in this circle. We're going to actually lose so many players here.
Yeah. Losing 4 teams, is that a bit much?
I'd say we will definitely lose potentially 4 teams worth of players, I think, but for actual teams I'm not sure. But phase 3 to 4 is really going to be the crunch. Like, that's going to be brutal here.
Yeah, I'm looking at the map, and like QAD are slotting a position in, but with the high ground that you see, like potentially Dangerous taking a couple of kills off of D1 from, like, the coverage just feels so non-existent.
It's a luxury in the circle. I mean, even the smokes. Razav, oh, sorry, I was going to say, Fadivero died very early on for Happy Men's, so that's the fight we saw at T&Y. Is going to find Felipown.
A lot of grenade kills happening. Not just Razav against D1, but Mira throwing a couple out onto 55. Vehicle explosion gives Mira their first kill of the day. Really looking to keep their own momentum rolling and continue to challenge, if not overtake, Luminosity. They're in a good position in the zone. It is, like many other teams, closer towards the edge. But they don't need to be threatened about a team coming up from their east side. And then Alcatsia, when we saw them rotate through for Happy Men's, they were able to take a couple of those compounds that I think you had mentioned earlier, kind of scattered out along the western ridge.
Yeah, they did. I actually really like 4 Happy Men's position on the south. They can work up that hill if they need to when the circle shifts. And then, to your point, same thing for Mira, right? They're on the opposite side of that. They're on the edge of the circle, sure, but really once they kind of make sure Monty's clear, which it is, I mean, we know that they don't, but once they realize it's clear, they can then start to work up, the south side. And this is, again, a perfect circle for that and for 4 Happy Men, so we'll see how those 2 teams do on the edge. Meanwhile, I don't know how the hell the teams in the north are going to get in this one. I mean, LG, you can see a cluster of teams up there. Systematicos, his Cowboy is getting himself a point here. Yeah, this is this is a crazy one, man. I don't think I've seen a circle like this in a long time.
Yeah, it's wild. There are already a lot of players in the blue. You can see it now. If you guys do want to watch, if you're unaware, do exclamation point map. You can get the map stream up, put it on a second monitor or a second device, if you so please. It, in a circle like this, it's definitely going to make it so much easier to track where teams are rotating. Granted, the options are very limited, but it does. I can tell you right now, we are going to be watching a bunch of chaos, a bunch of fighting, and it is going to get crazy.
Fisher took the zip line, by the way, on the southeastern side, so that's kind of cool. As Gas is going to run over Casa Grande. Also, for 4 Happy Men's, they need to consolidate, like, very quickly here. They're going to have some teams breathing down their neck. It's a very wide split. It worked earlier. It's not going to work for long.
Ooh. KPN now the last member left for Systematicos. Luminosity, they're going aggressive. Shark smelling blood in the water. And I think KPN is going to be a really hard defense. Gats with the angle. They're going to be taking care of. Systematicos are out, back down to the south. All these teams are still fighting in the blue.
Oh, nice. Very nice. Young Bloods is going to get just taken out. As you said, so many of these teams are fighting in the blue. D1 now down to just Carlos, as he has to rotate around multiple members of Rezav, who've done well for themselves this early game to get those kills and kind of close off their side of the circle. As I said earlier, Fisher has already taken the zip line, so they do have someone already just on the base of that fight. It's going to take place with 4 Happy Men's. Meanwhile, Cuatro Konos, I mean, they've done well to survive with 4 here for now, but I don't know how long that's going to last. Laucha, he's got to be careful. I don't think he knows Fisher's up here. In fact, he does not.
Yeah. 4 Happy Men's, you said they needed to sort of condense, but looks like they're still staying split. And, I want to give them props for the confidence and going for the kill points to see how it fares for them, though. Vox taking the spray onto the rotating Kakakono, still hanging out in the blue. Look at this wide spread by Luminosity. They've been fighting the whole time. They've basically been continuing to earn this much space that they've been holding on to. Snake just watch out! Takes a lot of damage, doesn't get knocked. And the covering fire by Gats once again. Vox gets the second.
Oh no!
Oh, Gats.
He gets. Oh, Gats. I was like, why? What's going on here? But that was sick because Snakers actually he threw his vehicle in the way to make sure that the member of Quadros Konos could not drive by. That was really cool to watch. Thanks for that, Snakers.
Jimu now only player with 4-0 in the zone and continues to be that. His 3 teammates are all the way to the north, and he's going to have to try and shepherd them all in, but the circle hard shifted to shift away from the unplayable land, so now everything is playable. How well it's playable, that's a different conversation to be had.
Playable is a strong word.
Yeah.
But it is all technically, they can actually get to that terrain. So you're not wrong, but again, we've already lost 20 players in just phase 3 to 4, so that was a rough one, and still this is even rougher. As you do see a team like Mira starting to make their approach. Again, they were in a great position. You called it out early, and now they can really start to work this. Rock is also very split. As we see, Mira is setting this trap here for 55, Cammy. We'll see if they can actually execute well, and so far Mira has not failed on the executions.
Yeah. A bit late to really start being incredibly active for them, but it's because it's been so wild. They're actually taking their time with this. Nice little strike onto Psycho. Gonna get a knock, but doesn't overcommit. Miro doing a really good job here, I think, of not throwing the game away for the prospect of potential kills. They're taking the ones that come easy for them. The blues coming in, they're potentially allowing the revive to happen, but I think with the speed of the blue zone closing, that's not really going to be an option. Shots at range, Haven's covering that whole entire angle. Samcro might just be denying this early in the game.
I think they're trying to go for the res. But for your point on Mira, it's very true. Like they really aren't like chasing the kills. They're really just putting themselves in the best positions to, as we see Bizzard delete Jimu. They're just putting themselves in positions to kind of let teams hang themselves, so to speak, right? Like they just kind of slowly close off these routes and these rotations, and they'll kind of set a trap in a compound, and they know that they are, one of the superior teams in the lobby, so they use that to their advantage. They really don't do anything extra that they don't have to. They're not risky, but at the same time, they don't play passive, and they're actually still hunting and getting their points. So, yeah, it's just been a really good slow roll for them, and it's consistency. It's working.
Then you heard something. recognizing that they're getting backfilled by Sam Crow. Also knows that Mira are right above them, so Bestia's position of safety is very, very slim, very thin. Vinny's jammer pack about to run out as well, so can't stay out in the blue for too much longer. A lot of tags onto a scouting Andy. And yeah, he does get killed by RBN. So AKM are losing players as they try and close in onto, well, what they can try and stay in before running directly into Alcatia. And another hard shift.
Okay, this is a 6 shift though. See, like this I like. This now has a lot of different crevices and different space to play. Granted, I'm speaking about the teams that are actually able to get inside the circle, but yeah, this is much better. This is much better for the teams inside. There's a lot of great terrain to fight around, a lot of ridges, a lot of angles, defilades, so definitely much better. But again, for the teams that are inside the circle, it's going to be Bestia struggling to get in. And they're actually pulling up right in front in a clown car as for. They're pulling up right in front of LG, and this compound that they're in is not even in. And they did that without a rear tire. Oh, man.
Yeah, explains why it was swerving so much. Gat's a bit of a slow row forward. Bit of a prone, trying to get into a dangerous position, but one that is necessary to shepherd the rest of Luminosity forward. That hard shift has just been running away from Luminosity, and they've gotten the kills because of the fights that they've been forced to be in. But, you know, when is their luck finally going to run out? Or rather, when is it going to start to get too much for them? When are they going to get overwhelmed by the prowess of the teams that they're running up against? Luminosity's getting challenged. A flying DM gets hit by his own vehicle.
What in the world?
Snakers is there with the response. M249 singing out its most beautiful song.
Oh, and a Lynx, though. Snakers, please, Jake. Oh, it's too many shots. Oh, goodness. Use so many bullets. It's okay. Gets the 2, though. Now, Bestia trying to peek over and find the angles. It's actually going to be Mira and AKM protecting LG from Bestia.
They did lose Vox, and I think Luminosity might have lost us. Did they lose Gats as well? It might just be down to 2. But Snakers has been absolutely beaming with this M249. Mira now, as you said, though, putting some more pressure onto Bestia. AKM go out in 10th place. We're still quite a few teams away from placement points, though. So keep your eyes on the kills. Bizzler with another knock on a Draft King. Bestia are struggling to make their way into Phase 5.
Yeah, I mean, coming in in that vehicle, they knew it was going to be a difficult task. That name was absolute perfection, though, landing in Bizzler's lap. Snakers, what? Oh, that is crazy he survived there. With the Lynx in hand now. All he needs is 1 shot. Now 2, but even still, very doable. As the spray's going to come out, but Zito's going to go down. It's going to be Roth once again. QAD now. Bestia just wanted a freaking fight with LG, man, and the rest of the lobby was not having it.
That's Battle Royale. If you want a fair fight, if you want a fair one-on-one, no other people intending, you picked the wrong game here. But the fact that Snakers has still survived through all of that is absolutely wild. QAD's support or not. Just like hanging on by a thread. And again, Hardshift continues to run away from Luminosity. I'm calling it out, guys. I'm a biased commentator here. I want to see Snakers do the impossible. All the chips are stacked against him and Luminosity right now. Can he make it work?
Well, he's got the M249 and a Lynx with, I think, at least 4 bullets still. So I think it used to be, when it used to be a crate gun, man, I used to love that. But MG3, oh, that's a juicer gun right there. We'll see if any of the teams go for it. QAD with a fairly decent path up here on the east side, or as they move east. They are on the west side of the circle here on the south side edge. But yeah, it's really Santastico, these windows from Rock that are going to cause problems for them. As I say that, Santastico finds a knock onto Reload. So they need to get on the south side of the ridge. But the problem is Cameron on the south side waits for Happy Men's.
Yeah, they've actually just been chilling for a while. Haven't had to do all too much. They've got, I think, a kill or 2 extra onto Razav. No, only 1 kill for them still so far, and that was the kill in the very beginning, but they've made it this way into the late game. And it's, you know, it's unfortunate on one hand because they've been favored by all the shifts. They haven't really had to fight, but now it means that they could fight on, you know, more controllable terms.
Yeah, and at least, I mean, we did see them have that super wide split. right, earlier, and they were looking for the kills. They were trying to get some damage out there, but again, because they were the most southern team, and there weren't too many other teams that wanted to rotate into them, kind of avoided that southern tip. They really didn't get an opportunity for kills. So it was just Kira's 1 kill earlier on Fadavero, but he's going to find Laucha, so Rezav will go down to 2 members. Can he find Martin is the question. Nice shots. He's going to land a couple.
Oh, no.
Ooh, MK14. I love that gun. Such a good DMR.
Yeah.
Probably my favorite DMR, actually.
I mean, yeah, it's a great weapon, though. So I should hope that it's really, really good.
I can still love it. Shut up.
No, that's true. I just mean, like, I think what is the actual tier list of weapons? P90 number 1. That's not an argument. And then it's like either, I guess, the Lynx next, or would you put the...
Probably, I mean, MG3 is disgusting up close when you switch that bad boy to the 900 RPM. Kira, gotta be careful here.
Yeah, we'll leave that conversation to the bigger heads, the greater minds of PUBG Reddit.
Oh, Rock, though. I mean, Rock have gotten 4 kills for themselves in this position. Again, they've been center for a long time now. And again, this is also a team that I expect to be fighting for, like, the top 2 spots currently. They are down, I think, or at least they were behind 15, almost 20 points. And so with this roster, I mean, we just saw BL and Santastico at PNC, so world-class players to be sure.
Cowboy and Relo knocking a kill in the kill feed on the opposite side, but now Mira's having to approach Rock. Blue zone grenades on one of the buildings. Circle shifts to the southwest, favoring Alcatsia, though they are going to continue to play on the low ground here, unless they want to push up onto for Happy Men's territory. Jam is looking for it, but I have my eye on that Mira approach onto Rock. Mira's gonna have to crest up into that compound eventually, and we did see BL in a more forward trap position, but Kira for Happy Men's, eyes still on QAD, FAMAS in hand, tiered up with like full crate weapons, level 3. The helmet's pretty low on durability, but it'll do its job at least for a few more shots.
Yeah, he is juiced. I'm sure he probably doesn't want a silencer on the end of that right now. A comp would be much more favorable, but he's still making it work. Even still, that gun doesn't have much kick. And nice, BL is activated. It's going to be on to fake Sin. Mira now know that... Oh, and then nade from Haven. Oh, no, he had a... Wait, what happened?
He wasn't grenade, I think.
I think he went to throw a smoke, maybe? Oh, that is tragic.
Oh.
That is tragic for Mira.
Oh, and then, well, that grenade hit, but now Fanta's down. Things are really complicated. Mira seemed to have been completely caught off guard by BL's surprise attack and just completely short-circuited their plan going forward.
No!
LFP swings around with a solid off and misses. And the safety of the teammates. Solds keeps everyone alive. RBN's the only one that's been down and out, but they've made it into the top 4. What a solid defense against the juggernaut of Team Mira.
That's a tilter. That's unfortunate. The way that just from start to finish, the way that fight happened for Mira was just unfortunate, I think is the word I'm looking for. So either way, they do have a big cushion, right? A big lead, but I mean, that's actually going to shrink very quickly here, especially with, you know, Rock being one of those teams that is in the hunt, as is QAD. So pressure definitely going onto the side of Mira, as QAD currently with 7 kills. And I would even argue superior circle position right now.
About 10 seconds left before we see Phase 8 and we see where the game is going to end at. Tony's in the center, but Tony's a lone wolf.
Yeah, he's been alone for a while in a central position, so good on him to salvage the game. But again, placement really not that important. That's why we see teams like LG going for, you know, the kind of crazy, you'd call them like clip plays, but they're really just hunting teams because they know that kills are going to be the main factor in winning this event. Placement isn't really that important as it used to be. And nobody is seeing Tony here. I mean, he is he's in a very, very hidden spot for now, at least, until that's the thing, though. I feel like Santastico and Rock are probably going to rotate towards the east, right? They're going to go towards the team before Happy Men's, which means that QAD will probably wrap towards the south, which means that Tony is probably going to be left alone.
Yeah, I agree. I certainly think Tony is probably going to get third, so that's one more placement. But the real question is, can Tony get any kills? Can Tony, you know, surprise?
Yeah, it depends.
Yeah, like steal a kill or two, get a surprise knock and follow-up kill. That's really it's going to be the challenge for the most that we can expect from a solo player.
As you can see, everyone is now just comfortably waiting for phase number 8 to start to close. We sit phase 9, that center dot, and that's when the action will start. Again, with the format, TPP, these teams have a lot more information available to them without actually exposing themselves and putting themselves in danger. So that's why you viewers at home tend to see the slower rolls. But as I say that, it's going to be BL to find a nade onto Doble. Now 4 happy men's will lose 1, and that's going to be dinner bells ringing for QAD, and they're going to make their push up, Cammy.
Yeah, they're actually taking advantage of the distraction. They saw that 4 happy men's push to the north, and they're going to try and backfill it. That knock, I think, was crucial, and now it's all up to Kira right now. Got the first kill for 4 happy men's. Unable to get any more. 4 happy men's go out in 4th. Good number of kills, but Rock with even more. 10 kills for them so far. But QAD immediately taken over the previous position by the 4th place team. So Rock really weren't able to gain any ground from that fight.
No, not much at all. I mean, QAD took care of it so fast, and Tony, there it is. He finally strikes, right? All those teams on the east side converged on each other, and he was able to just kind of sit back and relax. But now, you know, because he struck, he is going to be known. He is found out. But still, I mean, depending on how aggressive Rocket's on this, Tony is much closer to center circle than most. I mean, there's a real chance he even gets second here.
That's true. At least got that point. I think with BL going down to the blue, that's a point over for Tony and potentially dangerous. Sold's eyes on there. We saw QAD also rotate that way. The blue's closing in. It's a slow close, 2 minutes before the end of the game. But another grenade goes out. Good damage, but it doesn't get the knock. Can this next one do the trick? I don't think so. Yeah, it is going to be blocked by the terrain. Uh-oh.
Oh, that one's going to land, though. Jam just puts it right on the hood of that car. Souls will go down. Only 1 member left. And again, it looks like as long as they can get rid of Santastico, Tony's going to get second place.
I don't know if that was covering fire or a grenade, but damage regardless to stop that peak. But Tony gets another knock, this time on a Cowboy.
Oh, hold on a second.
Blue. A great spray down goes down immediately after. Great cover by Rello. This puts Tony into a 1 versus 2 grenades, sending him down. Solo HP. Rock barely ducking under that spray. Another knock, sending him to a 1 versus 1.
Flush it. Yeah, he knows he's probably not going to win this with his back to the blue. He's going to get just... I mean, he was so low, even that one little tick. He was aware of the blue, but hell of a game. So he does squeeze out second place. But man, it was QAD with just a clinical precision on that cliffside before it got kind of hairy at the end there. I mean, they took care of 4 happy men's. They then started to take care of Rock. They got rid of another team on the road. They put a lot of damage on a Bestia and LG as they were coming up. So a great, great game for Alcacia. And another thing to note is because Mira went down in the fashion that they did, both Rock and QAD were behind in the hunt. I think both those teams are now very much closed that gap.
Yeah, I still think that they're in 3rd and 4th place, maybe, but maybe it's by like 5 to 10 points instead of, what was it, like 15 or... Maybe
yeah, it was like 15.
I guess it
was like about 15, almost 20 for some of them, yeah.
Yeah, so there's still a lead, but not nearly as wide as it was once before. And so, like, to your point that you said earlier, like, really good for Rocket. They're actually the team to take Mira out. Mira still got a couple of kills. Luminosity got a bit more. This was such a complicated fight. I don't think teams are going to be particularly upset about saying goodbye to Miramar after what it just did to them this game.
Yeah, that again, that just we see circles on this area in the southwest pretty often, I would say, but to see one that far to the west on the unplayable wall, it just left so much to be desired as far as just space for teams to even rotate. I mean, forget about just somewhere to play, just getting in the circle, finding a spot. We saw LG, as we look at the match leaderboard here, trying to, you know, maybe go down that road, but Alcacia had it shut down. You know, that road was closed. So we can see 15 points for AQ. Rock is going to find themselves with 12s, but, you know, LG going down, I want to say, it's not really early, but mid-game-ish, still managed to get 8 kills, and that's back on the back of what you were talking about. They're just hunting kills. Doesn't matter if it's in the blue. If they know that it's a team that they can kind of bully, they're going to do that, and as they should, right? That's what's going to get them those points, and that's why they've been able to stay in first place.
Yeah, and Mira got 6, but if my memory serves me correctly, which it often does not, I believe they only got 6 points in the first 2 games of yesterday as well. They then finished really, really good on Rondo and Erangel, but like the fact that their lowest is 6 points, 6 kill points, is the lowest we've ever seen them in 5 games. Like, that's scary. So teams like Rock, teams like Alcacia, they need to keep on pushing. They closed the gap a little bit, but it is still 9 points and 11 points, respectively, from second down to third and fourth.
Yeah, and Razab also now in that hunt, they did kind of slide. But Bestia as well, that was not a great game. And you brought it up with Mira, right? Yesterday, you're right, they didn't get a great start. That actually surprised you that they didn't get the start that you were expecting, but they were able to close out strong. So we'll see if they can continue that. Potentially dangerous. Again, great game from Tony to save them. That was a beautiful second place. Got some kills on the back of that as well. And then pretty much everyone else just kind of struggled, and I don't blame them for it because that was a very rough circle.
Right. For Happy Men's, they're climbing up. They're one of the Cinderella stories that we're looking to see if it happens or not. A newer team onto the field, and if they could break into the top 8, I think that would be very, very exciting for them. They're only, 2 points behind 55, 3 more behind. I believe that's AKM in 8th place. But guys, we have 3 more games tonight, 4 more games, of course, tomorrow as well. We're reaching our halfway point, so we're going to go to a quick break as we set up Tago. Today is, so far, turning out to be a really, really exciting one, so you're not going to want to miss the games that come next.
Welcome to the PUBG Players Tour. This year, we're introducing structured competitive play in third-person perspective mode for players of all ranks, levels, and ability. Here's how it works in EMEA and Americas. PUBG Players Tour competition is held in 2-week phases. Each week, you and your squad can compete in player scrims. Think of these as a great alternative to ranked play. Each day of scrims will feature a variety of maps, with defined team and lobby sizes to ensure a balanced best-of-3 rounds. Teams will earn points based on their performance, and daily leaderboards will track their progress. When the scrims are over, the top teams will qualify for the PUBG Players Tour Cups, where they will be joined by up to 10 invited teams, featuring some of the best players in the region. Players Cup leaderboards will track team performances across 2 days of play, with the top 8 squads progressing to the final round of competition. Players Masters are the pinnacle of the PUBG Players Tournament. 8 teams from each of the 2 cups will engage in fierce competition for a huge prize pool in each region across the PUBG Players Tour season. And for times when a Players Masters isn't scheduled, you can still get your PUBG Players Tour fix with Super Cups. These work just like Masters events, where again, 16 teams, 8 from each of the 2 previous Players Cups, compete for a share of the total cash prize pool. Welcome to the PUBG Players Tour. You know the game. Be a player.
Say I never told you. Go, get out of my mind. I refuse to be a soldier. Waste my time. Don't say I never told you. Go, get out of my
Time, awesome, expertise, global. I can't even finish this awful acronym for Tago. We're in Tago, map number 2 of the night. Exciting win.
I was like, wait,
by
what?
QAD.
What's going
Listen,
on?
it was just like the hype words. Yeah, T stands for terrific. A stands for awesome. E stands for excellent. G stands for great. O stands for awesome.
Outstanding. Outstanding.
Ah,
Come
outstanding.
on,
There
you
it
were
is.
so close.
I
Oh,
know.
No.
I'm awful at sticking the landing.
You could argue I also failed to do that in my career, so fair play. As we see, kind of a northern play, nothing too crazy. We did see some hot drops yesterday, but we'll see if that continues. Looks like Razav. Yep, we're gonna see Razav and For Nothing once again cross paths.
It was a pretty dominant victory by Razav yesterday. So bold for FN to stick around, and ooh, Onidovon almost. Well, they're able to tip the vehicle. That could be a win. Okay, don't get too complicated. All right, it's all right. Okay, and we're moving on. Oh God, what's happening? Oh no, wait, stuck around a little too long. DraftKings able to get the knock. Huge play with the M16.
Okay, so Draft will find one early. Best yet. Much better start this game. I'm just hoping to see that they have more than one vehicle this game as well, because it's a little rough for them in the last one, as we can see 55 driving into not a oh no, he's stuck. And Pippa's looking for him. He's like, where? Oh, he sees him. Surely he sees. Yep. He's like, no, no, no. Where are you going, you little snake? He's going to go straight for the water. But it doesn't matter. Oh, little boop. Sam Crow will find Cali Ramirez.
Almost got away with it too.
Yeah, this is a struggle for them, for sure.
Could still get revived. Bleeding out, but bleeding out in the water. 55 aren't really sticking around. Back to the fight. Down. Fisher, Ferravero get a double knock. And then, of course, yeah, Fisher up on the high ground. Getting tagged up a touch, but the information is there. So Razav, once again, it looks like it should be a successful hot drop. We'll see if Vinny or Jimu can turn this one around.
If I'm not mistaken, we saw yesterday, I believe it was Razav kind of just made very quick work of this.
Yeah.
And they're kind of doing it again. Just Vinny and Jimu. Now, Jimu does have the... Oh, I was going to say that would have been a big knock. But Jimu with an opportunity here to get kind of like an off-angle knock if Razav isn't paying attention. But with the way that they're spread out and playing, I feel like they are pretty much in control of the situation. But, again, a solo, especially Jimu coming on the south side. If Fartivero's not careful... You can see them moving in pairs, actually. I do love that, going for the trade. They know it's just a 4-on-2 at this point. So, yeah, Razav looking strong here.
My concern now is Fisher already got tagged once by the Dragonov. No med kits, but now their focus is going to be on the south. I think they put a little pressure down here. Jimu sees it, but Martin had the alternative angle. This is so clean by Razav. They know all the angles. They know exactly how to approach. Fisher on the north, Martin on the south. And just bit by bit, inch by inch, angle by angle, and make sure to clear it all out.
Yeah, again, it's the case, like you're saying, brick by brick, just making sure that they're playing fundamentally sound. They're not playing reckless. Crossing the T's, dotting the I's, and that's why they seem to look just so clean here, you know? Just coming in, playing for trades, even when it was a 4-on-2, just very clinical stuff. And look at that, a team ace.
Step by step. Good old Whitney Houston strategy. And, yep, 4 kills, easy as you like it, and good timing as well. They don't, you know, where they are in relationship to the circle, like, I think they'll be happy to take some time and, you know, arrive late with all the loot that they want. Because other teams already are playing for the center of the zone, Rock being one of them. Because this phase 1, it's all the way up on the northern island. There's no shenanigans of, oh, is it going north, is it going south? Like, we know where it's going. But D1, or at least Filipao, is getting pushed by PD. Going to be swinging out. Should be able to get... Can't even get the first knock.
And Tony, the hero of last game for Potentially Dangerous, finds yet another kill for them. Rock closing the distance here. rest of the members of Quattros Konos and BL. Again, like Rock, I expect this team to be pretty explosive, especially in this lobby. Again, with the experience that they have. They did have a much better game, or a very good start at the day, so already off on the right track.
Problem is, pushing a team, even in first person, but especially in third person, is very, very difficult. They got a couple of grenades. I could see BL toss one out. He has eyes that way, but Souls is swinging in from the opposite side. I imagine to look for some more information in this. Well, this grenade is absolutely going to have to ready. A bunch of nades being thrown in, not all of them hitting. That one does, a little bit of a love tap. BL's finds Aki. And now the move is on.
Oh, yep, there it is. Nice little cleanup there. Oh no, what has happened to PD?
What happened?
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw Tony
just
go
saw a
down to the
kill
kill
from
feed and like, yeah.
Okay, and they're in a weird spot in between D1 and another team. What is going on?
I'm looking at the main map, and that's not even in the circle. This fight is DM versus Luminosity. They're sort of trailing around each other to the north of the center city, but that fight between PD is not at all. Factor now goes down in that engagement.
G on the map here, so I'm looking at their position. They're just gonna... This is poised to be a very strong game for them. They don't have to hunt for kills in the blue. In fact, they can hunt just the edges of the circle if they want to. Again, Razav trying to get rid of the rest of what is left of potentially dangerous. Did they get the chips?
Hard to tell. It's possible. So we could see potentially dangerous come back with all 4 players up. They'll still need to loot. But hey, it's better than nothing, right?
Yeah,
Now
it's
they're
better than
continuing to
nothing.
loot up.
You can see there's really not... most of the teams, in fact, are actually in this circle. This is one of the most forgiving circles probably on Tego. There's a lot of different options to cross. Like, yeah, you kind of have to worry about a bridge camp, but generally speaking, a lot of the teams are going to be centraled up, especially with this being more towards the north side, an army base. And there's a lot to play. There's actually just so much to play, whether you're going for a city, whether you're going for, you know, the terrain or the ridges or anything up in the north. We can see LGN. There's just, yeah, this is a very fortunate circle for these teams to have on Tego.
We still have what looks to be about a third of the lobby having to cross over the bridge. No one's particularly camping it. And yeah, here is the blue chip tower revival happening. Tony and I'm assuming both Tony and Nidavon. Can't tell for sure, but I think that's a pretty safe bet. Out in the blue, they had to run all the way to the east to avoid Razav in order to make sure they can get this revive safely. There is potential value of having, depending on when the timing of when the revive comes in, of having those 2 players kind of scout ahead of them. Again, they need to worry about not landing on an enemy team and getting some loot, but there are a couple of spaces that we can see on the main map that are actually free for them to join. Oh, it was only Tony back.
Yeah, Tavon died like super early. I don't even remember where he... I love that backpack. I don't even know where he died. So, not surprising they were only able to get Tony, but at least they come in with 3. You can see a huge split here from Rock.
Good spray, but yeah, oh, they are. This is dangerous. This is real dangerous. Zevo goes down. Caught out. The rest of the teammates nowhere to be found. But they're not nowhere. I mean, they're still a bit away though.
They're somewhere.
But they're just completely separate.
Yeah.
There wasn't really the timing in their favor in order to respond, and now it looks like they're going to be running directly into Jam again. Only as a solo though. You said their macro is good, but it looks like the way that they get there has its own flaws, and the next circle, it's going to hard shift. This time, though, in the favor of Luminosity.
Yeah, it's a hard node shift. And yeah, for Youngbloods, I feel like what seemed to start off really well with their initial rotations yesterday, I feel like the less they're getting off it and the more fights they lose, it does seem like they're less confident in holding, like, you know, some of these splits that they initially had yesterday. And again, it's just going to come with time with that team. They're clearly, no pun intended, a young team, and they have a lot to learn still, especially in a lobby like this. But again, getting into a lobby like this, qualifying for these cups, that's the experience they're going to need.
Yeah. Speaking of which, for Happy Men's, a team that's trying to have their own slow climb up. I believe they were certainly bottom 4 at some point yesterday. Currently knocking on the door of single-digit placement. Let's see what they can do from here. They're in an okay position in the city, but the problem is the city being on the edge. A couple of teams already inside. QAD are currently trying to rotate around it. It might be... It's still early enough, but it could get complicated trying to leave.
Yeah.
Trying to extract yourself from an urban city, yeah.
It's definitely going to be difficult to get out of Godok. I mean, that's why we saw a lot of the teams, you know, like the experienced teams like LG, Rock, you know, QAD. They're on the outskirts. They were on the surrounding parts of the city because it's much easier to try to crash the city than it is to get out, especially when city is on edge, right? Like how many times have we seen on an Arangol with a big city like Yas, for example, right? Like you can on the north side of Yas is very similar actually to the north side of Godok as far as terrain because it leads up towards the north. You're moving up a mountain, and you already have teams that are going to be up there in those ridges. They're going to have good sight lines, so it's very similar in that regard, and that's why you saw those experienced teams, you know, opt to go on the outskirts rather than actually sending it to city proper.
Still, though, this feels like it's a slow start. I know we've lost a couple of teams already due to hot drops. But outside of those, like, very one-off fights, a lot of teams have been taking this one a bit more conservatively. Still rotating, you know, shots on teams rotating around. I think this might have to do with the nature of how this circle just completely compares dramatically to the previous Miramar with how much playable land is available in the beginning. But I can also tell it's a fuse that's waiting. Finally get lit. Grenade goes out. KPN trying to do some damage to AKM. Oh, nice little shot out. KPN dropped to 50. Oh, no.
Oh, it's
I thought that was
Beal.
a molly, but no, it's shot by BL. Long range, taking that player down. Confirming the kill as well.
So KPN gets one stolen right out of his pocket. Res station is there, though. So if AKM are able to somehow get the better of not only Systematicos, but also 4 Happy Men's who happen to be to the south of them, then they could go for the res, as we are looking for a close. But yeah, actually, if this does go further north, then the timing on that is going to be much tighter than they would probably like. Red zone hits absolutely no one. Love to see that for the players. And
Nice.
actually, we're keeping Godok in. Okay.
This is interesting. Do you
Yeah, it's
try
kind
and
of a
compete
weird
against
circle.
Rock DM and like Luminosity on the hillside to the north? Or is this late enough? Like, is this not too early to go and try and compete for a position in Kodok?
I think if you can get like an extremity of Godok, you go for it. In fact, I'm pretty sure that's what Cowboy's doing for QAD. They have the other 3 members kind of trying to hold that edge. That's a busy edge, by the way. You have PD, you have Mira, and you have Bestia. That's a crazy edge. And then just above that, you have LG. But it looks like maybe Cowboy kind of anchored towards the city just in case there is an egregious shift to the south. Meanwhile, on the west side of things, you do see 55 and Rezav getting into it. Another 2 of our stronger teams here.
Yeah, you had Psycho you saw hanging out in a bush, kind of like anchoring for the rest of 55 who are trying to be loud and active. Wait to give Psycho an opportunity to pop up and finish the job. Rezav backing away, though. They don't want any of this heat. They don't want any of this smoke. They might be running away. They might actually be running directly into Kodokan themselves, though. Like, I take that back. They just want a different hill. They reverse their position, but they're still ready to take this fight, at least for now.
Kind of awkward though for Rezav because they're not inside. In fact, 55 is spread out and moved in a way that almost cuts off their rotation unless Rezav just disengages and goes further south, which it looks like that's exactly what they're doing. Let's see Laucha now looking for shots. He's gonna land a cheeky headshot there onto Sam Crow, but you can still see 55 are trying to shadow this. They want to stop Rezav from getting in.
I mean, they have a good opportunity to do so. Again, Psycho has just been alligatoring, crocodiling, whatever the term is, right below them for the longest time, being very patient, which is what you want to do in that situation. Wait to play off of an opportunity your team gives you. Luminosity, though, they're not being as patient. They are actively running out, and they are running into team member. This is going to be a fight of the giants. Good shots by Haven, even able to get a knock onto Bizzler. This is huge. Are they going to push on it? Haven's in a vehicle.
Yeah, it's a good start. And again, remember, Mira knows that LG's in first. If they can not only get rid of this team and continue to go on to have a great game for themselves, that's going to be them usurping first place from LG. So you can see it, Haven finding the aggression here off that knock. Now, LG are able to get Bizzler back up. But now on the back foot, Mira have gotten very close. This is going to be a fight in this compound. Also, something to note, there's a res station in that compound. So you have to imagine whichever team goes down, if they lose a few members, they're going to immediately go for that res.
Circle the hardship.
Kodak. Okay. All right.
Oh, grenades go out. I heard another M249. No one's knocked it. I say that right when Snakers gets a grenade landed on Fake Sin. Blue Zone going to be following on up. So Luminosity, they at least have the momentary advantage in the fight now. Fake Sin was a player with the P90, so that is a really good scalp to take. Confirmed with the Blue Zone.
Huge kill right there. Let's see if Haven is going to pick that up off his teammate's body, as I think he should if given the opportunity. I can easily turn a fight in your favor.
Oh.
But PD, look at that. Yep. Coming in on the back side of this, looking for a knock onto LG to third party, and now this is a very precarious sandwich to be in if you are LG.
Yeah, they got Tony back, and they're all back with a vengeance. This is a bit of an interesting situation because, like, PD are pushing on this. I understand why they want to wrap and try and go for kills, but the timing of all this fight, it's not looking great anymore. We have just under 2 minutes before the circle is closed. The blue is already closing, and there's still a couple of meters to go between here and the zone. PD might be moving away because of that aforementioned timing issue, but that has allowed Mira to also extract themselves from the situation back into the city, back into where most of the other teams are going to be playing around. Ribeiro's trying to find an angle onto Rayzav. KPN's going to be willing to find the knock onto Martin.
The Maticos have been here the whole time. Wait, didn't they have a knock? Didn't one of them go down? Oh, no, that was Rayzav. That was one of Rayzav's that went down. That's right. There's still 4 up. And AKM slowly moving their way in, Cammy, on that west side. What do you think of 4 Happy Men's, though? They really haven't kind of done much. They've been sitting in that spot in Godok in the southeast for a long time, and I'm not sure they have any kills.
I don't think they do either. But they're playing for the late game, it looks like. 55 now. They were staring down Rock in another potential fight after losing Rayzav, who, as we saw, made it in the city. Al could see it now. Oh! Surprise Yeti, Grass Yeti. But now it's all down to Glock. Framos in hand, getting peppered not just by Al Qudsia, but also by a couple of players from the city. I think it's Young Bloods especially. Bestia are here. We have Mira in the kill feed taking down Rock. Suddenly things are getting hot on the north side. All across the fields. Or the hills, or the roll, whatever you want to call it. It's terrain. It's grass.
It is indeed. Oh, man. Potentially dangerous and kind of backstabbing QAD so far today has been an ongoing theme. That's going to be 2 kills for PD. 2 more, I should say. Now a total of 4. And you know what? Why not? Give him a knock on Vox. Sure. Nice shots from Glock. Good plays indeed.
DraftKings might be there to steal that kill, but regardless, Glock is managing the angles. You can't really block that many lines of sight with a single tree. Rello and Jam are both still alive, though, for QAD. They might have lost Cowboy and Roth, but they're still in the fight. And Bestia, 3 kills for them so far. It's been a quiet continuation of what was a really good start to yesterday. Will this be a turnaround of that trend here? Trying to get the lineup, trying to get the information on the teams all in front of them. Take the tires, yeah!
There we go. That's what Cammy likes.
Yeah.
And that's great because that kind of strands Stakers, to be honest. So not great for him. Oh, my goodness. Flood just standing out in the open just gets picked apart there. It's something I'm noticing is DM is sitting in a compound to the north. They actually could have spread out. Nicely done. Vinny just pretty much single-handedly gets rid of the last two members of Al Qudsi and then goes immediately, DraftKings then goes immediately to look at Snakers. But DM with an opportunity to get some of those kills. And again, this is where that experience comes into play, just opting to stay in the compound.
Uber has arrived really fast as it needs to, because look at that blue. DraftKings is even playing out into the blue zone to keep this angle alive. Needs to use one of their last two first aid kits. No jammer pack. And can't even run in the beeline direction into the zone. But the hard shift goes to the north. It pulls away from Kodok. This is going to give those teams on the north side a lot more to play with. The teams in the city, though, they now need to make very scary decisions. AKM tried to push out in the 55. Really good spray down by Yahi.
It's a problem now for 55. Mira is above them, even though it is a duo. It's still two members that can come in third party. They're down to 3. Psycho trying to reposition the car for cover. Meanwhile, Systematic goes KPN now, getting into a fight with the team of D1 coming in from the south, and Rezav also looking for an opportunity here. So a big mess happening in the southern side of this circle here in Godok, Cammy. Oh, nice flush. Good nade.
Yeah. Well-placed grenade. Second kill for D1. Coming in from the bottom of the leaderboard. Every kill matters for them and every team, and that is a Panzer. Demonster with the Panzer in play. They've already lost UT2K4. Arv is throwing some grenades from the opposite side. Could be trying to funnel LG into this Panzer. Grenade prepped. Smoke as cover for now. And Glock goes down to a vehicle by DraftKings.
Just gets run over in the grass. I wonder if DraftKings knew he was there, or if that was just like a surprise frag. Like, oh, okay.
Good bank, but doesn't find the knock. And what's another hard shift? Of a day full of hard shifts, what's one more?
Yeah, I mean, from where we started on the north side now all the way down to still keeping a corner of Godok in, kind of crazy. That, oh no, he missed. And yeah, it's going to be a free knock though, but there is a trade. Okay. There's still one member here of DM. So LG Snakers not out of it quite yet. Flash is going to go in. He can't see anything, and it's going to be Arv. Okay.
Wait, I think they actually got body blocked by their teammates. I think Snakers got body blocked by Gats. Couldn't really take that fight with the full movement capabilities that they wanted to go for. Seemed to be a bit scattered in taking that angle, but regardless, Luminosity do go down. A very bloody but successful hold for DM for now. But now Youngblood's pushing forward. Got the revive onto 1.
Oh,
Fana gets a double knock onto 55. Last player up from Mira, but they've hit their minimum of 6 kills. Can they get any more?
he got all of them. Him and Haven. Haven went down, but they actually just cleaned up all of 55. That's huge for Fana and Mira. Youngbloods have not had an opportunity to really get any kills here. They are still 4 strong, which is a big boon for them, but let's see what they're able to do for it. Again, I've been liking this team, but very critical of the fact that they are struggling in these actual just straight up team fights.
D1's getting picked apart as they're caught between STS and Youngbloods. Best yet now have to move in. They've gotten themselves a good number of kills, but DraftKings goes down. You can see Zemo goes down. The follow-up wasn't there. The timing doesn't favor them in trades, and now they lose a second.
Grande and Ribeiro
2v2
now.
2, I think, and Godok.
Yep. Trying to get rid of what's left here. Fight for supremacy of... really is a consolation of having to run into Rezav and Bestia once they get past this. 5 kills for D1 though, Cammy. Not bad at all.
Yeah, I think this might actually be doubling their overall points or close to
I
it.
think
We'll see if they
so,
can get
yeah.
any more. Fan with another kill for Mira. Deportivo Melo are fully eliminated. They might have withstood the storm of Luminosity, but against Team Mira, that became just a little bit too much.
And remember, that's Fana's alone, so he's just doing so much work for that team. In fact, he is about to have probably the most control on this circle, essentially. Nope, that's going to be in Zito. Actually, what a shift for them. Bestia now. Well, you said it, Cammy. You asked the question, are they going to be able to turn it around early? And this is a hell of an opportunity, I'll say the least, at this circle for them to do so if they can get even more kills. They've already gotten a healthy amount.
And he goes down to Casa Grande, AKM. Looking for a way to try and break into the circle. Really, no one's in the zone. We have Zito as one, Martin as the second. But every other player, the majority of the teams are outside of the zone. A couple that are locked into Godok, unable to leave without getting shot either in the back by the teams around them or in the front by Bestia or AKM. See, Carlos gets tagged immediately by DraftKings. And followed up with another angle held by Youngbloods. Stuns out from both sides.
This is the problem here, getting out of the city. We talked about it, Cammy. Happening much later, fortunately, than we initially thought, but even still, now these teams are in a lot of trouble. I mean, D1, best move for them here is to just get rid of Systematicos, try to get the points, maybe even go for Youngblood before finally getting shredded from Razav and Bestia. Because they have a lot of eyes looking in their direction. Ribeiro just waiting for them to come out of the warehouse. And those mortars that I hear?
It might be emergency cover flares.
Actually, you're
Something's
right,
falling in from the sky.
Yeah,
Regardless.
it's emergency cover. You're right.
Oop. Dodges the stun. Carlos was able to cross. I don't think Luke is going to be quite as lucky. Ribeiro was ready for it. Spotted the shoulder peek out, but it's actually going to be DGT. And then the follow-up by Ribeiro. All into Carlos. One man against the world. Realize he's getting played on both sides. 180s onto DGT. Huge play. Cannot 180 back. Still goes down. Actually, this time to DraftKings to Bestia. But still, those final few kills, I think, were huge.
Yeah, and look at this. Mirren out with... Because he needs it, right? He's still that P90 in play. Oh, but finally... Yeah, he's going to go down to the blue there. Is Razav still with 5 kills as well. Got rid of pretty much everyone down in the south. Only one member left of Systematicos. It's going to be Casa Grande. And now it's going to be on to Bestia to push on and get rid of the rest of AKM.
Good rock. Good position for DraftKings. Smokes come out for Casa Grande to cross the road. Problem is,
It's
though,
actually a very clean smoke line.
Yeah, it is, but the problem is you got Razav, you got AKM, you got Bestia, all going to have their own separate angles onto this. It's going to be a lot of bullets coming through. Casa Grande instantly tagged up by a few shots, and there's a gap there.
Yeah, I did not see that. I thought there wasn't gap, so I retract my previous statement. Almost a very good one, but it seems like... Oh, I was going to say it seems like it works for them anyways, but no, it doesn't. Ribeiro gets melted from the side, and then Ribeiro is going to find it, and just like that, Systematicos goes down. No surprise there. AKM now just to the north of where we see the duo of Razav playing. And it's a 3-on-3-on-2.
I want to say Bestia have the advantage here, but it's not an overwhelming one. I do think AKM and Razav are going to have to fight each other first, with Bestia being able to third party. Nope, Flood's just saying, I want all these kills for myself. Double knock onto Yayi and NCLS. Andy's the last one up. Do Razav push on this? Do Razav look to try and clear AKM? Flood has a grenade looking to be doing just that.
Yeah, it should be a free flush, and then realistically it should be all but academic. Nicely done. Flood going to clean up all 3 of those kills. Good for him. But now, like I said, it should be academic here for them to get rid of Razav. They are on the back foot. In fact, they are cornered quite literally on the southwestern side of the circle. And Bestia is very privy to their position. This is going to be a tough one for them to fight out.
Yeah, already 7 kills for Razav, so it's still a good game for them regardless. But 14 kills for Bestia. They've done a really good job of picking up bit by bit, like piece by piece, you know, 1 kill at a time. I think it was a lot of shots of players out in the open, just really establishing and maintaining control of the hills to the north of Kodok. And we have a C4. there's always that risk of the denial, especially with two teams so close to each other on the leaderboard. So
Dude.
DraftKings is sending a C4 in to keep that from happening.
Hello,
Going
friends.
into C4.
Where are you guys going?
Got them
Oh
both.
man, he did that at PNC's. Oh my goodness. So
Actually
good.
got them both up to 16 kills. We've seen a lot of failed C4s, at least here on the PUBG Players Tour. So Bestia able to finish it out with a successful one. An attempt at a deny. Razab running onto the blue, running away from the C4, but you cannot run away from the specter that is Bestia.
Yeah, they had a crazy game, and that's exactly what they need. I think they heard you. I think they were upset with what you said. And you know what? I'll show you a slow start coming into Tago here, and they, I mean, yeah, 16 kills. Is that the highest we've seen in a cup? In a single game?
No, I think Mira had like 18.
Okay, I mean, that's fair if it makes
Previously.
sense if it is Mira. But again, another individual hero play from Potentially Dangerous, this time coming out of Glock and not Tony. So that's the fun thing about Potentially Dangerous. They may not put it together all the time as a team, but individually they are very skilled players. We've seen that time and time again regionally. As yeah, Fana also doing very well for himself and his team, managing to get them a total of 7 points collectively. And then yeah, Systematico is trying to make something happen here, but again, getting out of the city, it's rough, Cammy.
I'm really curious what the leaderboard's going to look like now. Because the previous game was like 3rd and 4th place, getting a bunch of points. And now it was like 5th and 6th place, getting a bunch of points. And Luminosity, they get only 4, still a good amount. Mira get 7, so still a good amount. Like,
Yeah.
how does this affect the overall leaderboard though? Because like, even though Mira and Luminosity aren't taking over any of these games yet so far, you know, put a note on that. We still have 2 more games to go. They're still getting the points. Is this enough for the gap to truly be closing? 21 points though for Bestia. That is a good amount in one single game though. That I think could make a sizable difference.
Yeah, that's a very healthy amount of points. In fact, I think they're probably going to shoot up to, I'd say, at least 2nd place maybe. Oh, very close though. They're actually 7 points behind Mira, and Mira is now 1 point behind Luminosity. So all of a sudden, would seem to be a much more of a 2-horse race. We now have Razab with 44 points tied with Rock, and they are not far behind. 11 points behind 2nd, 12 behind 1st place. We got ourselves a game here, Cammy. That's what I like to see. Even Al Qudsi at 39, not far behind Razab. Potentially Dangerous have been consistent. AKM also, you know, 22 points. They're on the lower side, but the other thing about them is they have to be careful about teams like 55, Systematicos, even 4 Happy Men's. If they're able to find a decent game, they could usurp and get in the money in 8th place.
Yeah, like what the gaps that I'm seeing right now are 2 to 3. Then it goes down to 6 to 7 and 7 to 8. So there were a couple of small ones there. We'll see if any of them develop further from here. But yeah, the Luminosity Mira sort of status quo we'll see if it maintains. We're going to have 2 more games left tonight. We're going to go to a break as we set up Rondo. Halfway through this entire event, can Luminosity hang on to first? See you in a bit.
A collaboration with Espa, and some changes to vehicle camo netting. All this and more as we dive into the update 36.2 patch report. First up, Miramar's getting a visit from the K-pop group Espa. All across the Badlands, you'll find concert venues, decor, and other visuals based on the group. Many other maps have Espa visuals, such as themed care packages and planes as well. There's also an emote stage on the starting island of every 8x8 map for you to perform some of their most iconic tracks, including their latest hit. Next up, vehicle camo netting is seeing a durability improvement and is being added to Rondo and Tago this update as well. The improved durability only applies to bullet damage, and there are still some conditions in which the netting is instantly destroyed, so check out the patch notes for full details. The clan system is also getting some love. There are new ways to show off your achievements, including a new weekly ranking page, along with new clan tag plates. Full details in the patch notes. There's also a new Survivor Pass. Regions with duo mode can now choose one-man duo in normal and ranked. And we've tackled some bugs, so be sure to check out the patch notes for details on everything. Update 36.2 is here, So park the car in a safe spot and get ready to rock out with Espa. We'll see you on the battlegrounds.
Welcome to the PUBG Players Tour. This year, we're introducing structured competitive play in third-person perspective mode for players of all ranks, levels, and ability. Here's how it works in EMEA and Americas. PUBG Players Tour competition is held in 2-week phases. Each week, you and your squad can compete in player scrims. Think of these as a great alternative to ranked play. Each day of scrims will feature a variety of maps, with defined team and lobby sizes to ensure a balanced best-of-3 rounds. Teams will earn points based on their performance, and daily leaderboards will track their progress. When the scrims are over, the top teams will qualify for the PUBG Players Tour Cups, where they will be joined by up to 10 invited teams, featuring some of the best players in the region. Players Cup leaderboards will track team performances across 2 days of play, with the top 8 squads progressing to the final round of competition. Players Masters are the pinnacle of the PUBG Players Tournament. 8 teams from each of the 2 cups will engage in fierce competition for a huge prize pool in each region across the PUBG Players Tour season. And for times when a Players Masters isn't scheduled, you can still get your PUBG Players Tour fix with Super Cups. These work just like Masters events, where again, 16 teams, 8 from each of the 2 previous Players Cups, compete for a share of the total cash prize pool. Welcome to the PUBG Players Tour. You know the game. Be a player.
Welcome back, everyone, as we head into our 7th game. We are now at the halfway point, just about beyond it. Looks like Bestia have found their form that you were kind of asking for, Cammy.
Well, we'll see if they can do it again. Currently, they're rotating or flying towards the south alongside Rocky Esports. Are we going to see a hot drop in Jeddah City, of all places? Probably not.
Nah, it looks like Bestia's like, you know what?
But imagine.
It's such an awkward city to fight in as well, because not only do you have like all the crazy different elevations, but you also have like that whole entire ridgeline on the west of Jeddah actually gives you so much information, especially in TPP. Like that is that's crazy. But you wanted a hot drop. I'll tell you what, I'll give you a hot drop anyways. How about LG and Al Qudsiya?
NA on NA violence, herder. We're gonna go all the way back there. We even have Quattros Konos around.
I was gonna say, yeah, they're even there.
Yeah, that could even become a factor. And phase 1, nowhere
the
near
circle's
test
sick.
track. Yeah, we've seen similar circles before here in the PUBG Players Tour. We'll see how this one plays out. Great for D1 and AKM. Good for 4 Happy Men's as well if they wanted to rush for a central position. But there's also another hot drop. Again, Rayzav and DM all the way to the west. Zhao Tin,
Yeah,
that
and if
could
you're-
be another hot drop. What? That's the one that we saw that was a bit to the south, Fong Tun, where
That was
Rayzat just
Fong Tun.
camped them for
Yeah.
like 5 minutes.
Yep. Yep, that was in Fongton, but same teams involved. You can see now Cowboy and Jam. We'll have to try to make this work, but I mean, this is just a cool circle around Ryan and on Schwan. Like, there's some really cool terrain. Anytime we go towards the quote unquote Miramar portion of Rondo, I get really excited.
Yeah.
And it looks like
great.
LG is actually peeling off, Cammy.
Not too happy about this fight. I think it could be because of the sort of looming threat that is Quattro Konos. It's one thing to try and take a hot drop against just another squad of 4, but then when there's this random solo that could be around, could shoot you in the back, it makes things a lot harder to do. And CLS slow creep forward, but that door opening, I don't know if that's something that Lucas would have heard. The way that you see Lucas running around, I don't think their ears would have been primed to listen for, small things like that. Could get caught out by the shotgun we see in NCLS's hands. Oh, this is scary. This is scary. Lucas, look up, please. Of all times to be in first person.
He is blissfully looting, and NCLS is just going to catch him right in the back of the dome.
Well done.
Unfortunate.
Quick little end with the shotgun in hand as well. And this is a great fight for a position. This is basically the center. It's a bit north of center, but basically the center of the zone. There is that river that's going to be a factor later on in the game. So there's no one position that is going to, win the early game. But still getting a kill, showing your opponents what is what. Great start for AKM.
Yeah.
And they're a team that we saw. There's a pretty big gap between them in 8th place and 7th place above them. So, and we've seen some great performances by players, especially Yayi and NCLS previously. So it's a bit of a surprise that they're quiet. Hopefully now they can follow in Bestia's footsteps and sort of turn things around for themselves.
Yeah, we even saw some great clips yesterday. Andy had multiple for himself, right? So that team, definitely an upstart. A lot of potential there. We've seen NCLS, as you said, pop off before as well. And yeah, they've gotten themselves a really good position. Meanwhile, Kutsia is just getting out of this area. Looks like they found an okay amount of loot. Now they are splitting towards what is Quattro's code. Oh, careful now. Careful now. He's just got a Tommy gun. And they're going to see him in such a weird spot. And there are 4 members in that vehicle. Not in this lifetime, Aki. Oh, no.
Yeah, that would have been
I mean, what
the
is
spray
he
of
doing
all
there,
sprays
though?
with
Hold
the
on.
Tommy gun.
Look where the rest of his team is. What?
Wait.
How did he get stranded there? Like, what happened?
Yeah, guys, exclamation point map this one. Why are Quattro's Konos where they are? I know they all kind of scattered when LG and QAD dropped in that one compound together, but this feels very unorganized. And now 55 have arrived. Bizzler goes down. Bit of an extended spray by Pippa. This is going to give Luminosity a chance to respond. I think if he made that first spray a bit cleaner, could have had a chance for a second. But now Carrick swings in from the opposing side. Wasn't expecting Snakers. The Snakers missed the first shots. Carrick caught between a rock and a hard place. Snakers able to stay alive.
Looks coming out. They want to go for their teammate. And it looks like they will find some success already, starting off with a knock on the Snakers. Still a couple members here of LG. It's going to be another one down. 55 coming in hot. And they are dismantling. In fact, just give it to them. They did dismantle LG. Man, what a play. Good job from 55.
And now PD are crashing in onto D1. Our complaint about Tego starting off a bit slow, that's not going to be the same thing here. Teams are really wanting these points now. They realize we're in the halfway point of this event. You got to get those kills. If you're a team that is struggling to get those points, the time is now. You can't rely on getting a lucky chicken dinner with the 10 points anymore. That's not the case in this event, not the case in this points format.
Yeah, and I like this aggression, especially on Rondo, because Rondo tends to be one of our slower maps at the start, right? Aside from like a hot drop here or there, just because there's so much terrain, so much cover. So love to see this aggression. Carlos is going to find Tony. And it looks like Gabriel is going to find an easy knock. It's a trade, 1-for-1 now, 3-on-3. Is AKM now
CLS
looking to get involved as well?
Yeah, and CLS grabbed the final kill of D1. Get the second kill for themselves. though they're not pushing onto it because STS are rolling in from the north. And Quattros Konos aren't too far from this fight either. This Oasis, I don't know if someone put out like party flyers. Everyone thinks there's a big event happening. Lollapalooza or Coachella or maybe some other brands that I probably shouldn't say that aren't associated with Crafted Official.
Some other Ella, sure.
Yeah.
Or an aespa concert, how about that?
There it is, yep, aespa concert, yeah.
aespa in the desert? Ooh, that'd be a banger event, I feel like. Hire me,
Wait, there's something
aespa.
there. Okay.
Systematico is pulling up onto AKM here, Cammy, as they are... It looks like Yai has the read on it. We'll see if he's actually able to land it. Systematico's now realized there is a battle here to be had. KPN will potentially be the first to get in a fight here, as they are very privy to this situation. And Yai with that Panzer, that could be devastating.
Yeah, we've seen a couple of missed Panzers today so far, though a couple that have also landed. Nice initial knock by HFit. Rivera goes down. Panzer gets the second. Making this a 2-for-0 engagement so far. Confirming a few of these kills as well. Make sure they don't get stolen. The rest of AKM are arriving. This wasn't even the full force of the squad. Casagrande is able to get one knock. And Sarah from the opposite side, so the trades are coming in. But yeah, he is going to put it down to a one-man army now. 1 versus 2.
Andy's got to go huge here, and he will. Again, he's Andy for me on AKM, even though Yai is great. Yeah, you didn't even get the kill. I just feel like Andy's been awesome for this team. We've seen some really great cover. Even the way that he played positioning for his team, playing for the trades, allowed them to get what they were able to find in that fight. You can see 4 happy men's. I mean, they really need to start getting kills here.
They're trying for it. They're in a decent position. Take some fights. Overlooking the river. And this is still phase 1. We still have no clue if this circle is going to be on the north or the south, but it seems that all the teams are banking it on going towards the north. And it's probably the most likely that is where the center is on the north, but most likely, I mean, 51% is most likely, so it's not guaranteed.
And especially with the hardships that we've been having today, I wouldn't bet anything. So we've seen some pretty wonky stuff. Roth, nicely done. Finds Flood. Takes his helmet right off. As you can see, DraftKings now moving along the ridge line. And I like this from Roth and the rest of QAD. No aggression, though, as they can't really get that flush. Vinny now putting Roth on notice.
Yeah. Oh,
and
you
there
said
you go.
it. Hard shift. Hard shift. This one still keeps the river cutting the zone in half.
Yeah, it does.
And now I think this could make it very bad for QAD. Because more teams are going to be coming their direction. Bestia are safe. Bestia are in a perfectly great position, barring any sort of play by 55 or Rock. But I think QAD are going to have alarm bells and just, like, they got to have eyes on the back of their head now. Or even to on the left and the right, because they got to watch all the different angles of teams that could be approaching them with a hard shift like this.
Yeah, at the very least, they're going to have to play more to the strength of that compound rather than flexing out, which is unfortunate because you know that team wants to flex out. They want to make sure that they're able to get the sight lines on some kills to steal or even get involved in a fight. But yeah, if more teams do come in, like this is exactly what you're talking about. Bestia is going to find a knock there, and now they have to get him up because playing the outside is just not great. The saving grace for QAD, though, is that compound that they have.
And he's still trying to stay active, still trying to send some shots their way. Like the tire, you know you want to. Well, okay, maybe not. Standing on the open like that, maybe don't do that. It's a bit less safe. And it's also risky for Bestia to be on all these angles, because if any of them get knocked, it'll be harder. Oh, wait, DraftKings. DraftKings was suddenly able to get right on them. QAD have 2 members in the sky. I know QAD like to go for the emergency pickup scouting, but this, I think, is a full readjustment. Not by a lot if you look at the overall map. They're only bumping themselves like just a singular position to the west. But that much pressure from Bestia, I think, was one of the reasons that forced them into this.
Yeah, I actually love this reposition from them. They get a better, more central spot on the map. As you said, Bestia was really starting to surround them and make that compound not even as good as they would have liked to have. If you're QAD, you're like, okay, we at least have this. So that's a beautiful reposition. They get out with the 2-2 split, 2 in the emergency pickup, 2 in the vehicle. That we were also able to scout, see that compound's clean. So that was just great decision making and a great peel off from QAD. Really love that and expect that from a team with those players.
Team shooting onto Rock, unable to get the knock.
Ooh,
So we did see a
bars.
brief moment of a glider in play. I know. I'm a poet. I
didn't realize.
I wasn't even aware of it. Those souls does eventually go down.
55.
And now 55, they are crashing out of this.
Yeah, I've been really impressed with 55 overall. Santastico going to get that spray. That's an opportunity for 2. And oh no, he's going to pay for it. Pippo now with the trade. Just Arbian and Beal left. You can see Kirak here on this side of this building. Oh, but he's not paying attention. That's an unfortunate mistake for Kirak. And all of a sudden, this is down to a 3v2.
Mr. Rock are joining the party. Samcro and Pippa, though, you can never count them out. Samcro could even go for a quick little revive down here, but Pippa needs to be careful on this flank. Doesn't seem to be spotted yet. Molly goes in. Samcro is going to go down. It's all left to Pippa. More grenades flying in, giving Pippa's position away. Deal's just watching for it, waiting for it. Finds the lineup, deals some damage.
You can see Enzito off in the distance was kind of looking for this, but Rock, great defense there. 55 with a great opportunity, but it was the trade and then that eventual kind of loss of where we saw BL. He was able to kind of sneak up and get that knock. That's what really turned it around. Pippo did try to go out and make something happen, but at that point it's too late. Meanwhile, Rezav and DM continue. It's crazy how this fight lasts so long between these two teams. We saw it yesterday as Martin gets a knock on a Demostro. We saw it yesterday. This fight was taking place in like the span of 3 circles. So
Right.
finally, it's resolved.
This wasn't even where they hot dropped, though. This is on the north
No,
of,
it's not.
of the zone.
Yeah. Same thing happened yesterday on this map.
Chasing each other. Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
That's. I mean, it feels like it's only on this map, but do Rezav have a bone to pick with Demostro?
I
Not
don't know.
Demostro,
That's
a
actually
player
very good.
with Deeper T.
Well,
Romelo.
on his team. So you were
Sure.
right partially.
I was 25% right.
I don't know. I genuinely don't know. But I mean, it's the way that they have played this map specifically against DM is very weird. It's very odd. No team chases a team like that down in like 3 circles of blue, and they did it yesterday. They did it again today. So I'm not sure what's going on there.
Well, down to 11 teams now. Phase 3.
And it's only on this
Sorkle.
map. Like, why
Yeah.
just this map? Sorry to interrupt you, but it's actually really perplexed me. Like, what is going on there?
The more you think about it, the more confusing it is. Rella with a nice little knock on a DNL. I was going to say no scouting had been done, but I guess the DNL was the scout. The rest of 4-0 way far behind, though.
Yeah.
That's one thing I've seen with a lot of the younger, less experienced squads is their movement, their rotations, whether it's a vehicle or on foot.
Well, I mean, this is a
Way too
perfect
split from
example.
each other. Yeah.
Like, just kind of aimlessly driving. Again, no real plan. We see a lot more sends in teams that are again, experienced. And what we mean by a send is like it's a blind send into the circle without really any information. You haven't been able to scout, and you're pretty much hoping and praying that you're going to find something. And that, again, is something that these guys are going to have to get with experience. It's just going to come with making the mistakes and learning. LFP is going to find a spray onto Fadivero, so that's 1 member down. That's going to be a point for them. Mira with a slower start, but still a huge split on this northeastern ridge.
Remember, though,
Oh,
they had
and
a
a
slow
trade,
start yesterday as well. They got 6 points and 6 points, and then they were off to the races. We'll see what can happen here, though. But Martin taking Haven down. It's going to make things a bit more complicated. Looks like they're going to try and go for the full confirm here. But Martin's quite low. You don't want to get into the blue. Laucha with good control, and Bestia might have had the angle, but it looks like Razev are able to get away with this. Oh, the second I said that, I knew DraftKings was going to get that knock. Too good to let that one get away with the health that Martin was at.
Yep, you felt that in your bones. Vinny's also going to find Laucha and Bestia now coming alive. Not that they were passive. I mean, they had set that trap and they were beautifully encompassing the position of Alcancia, and so they've now extended their pressure to the team of Razev, and even potentially dangerous. They're actually fighting two teams on two different fronts. This is now starting to get a little dangerous for them.
Oh god, open the map.
Be careful.
I don't know how this circle happened.
Oh my god, I wasn't even paying attention to the circle. I was just so focused on these fights happening. That's a rough one.
I don't know. Yep, we saw a quick little sneak peek of it there. What is this circle? It is not going to be the north after all. It is still going down to the south, but the river is still cutting off like the entire top third of it. And so all these teams, they're going to have to rotate. There's like one bridge I think the Bestia are playing through, but then Rock is camping this bridge and Zeno goes down. The remaining members of Bestia, I think, are in this one vehicle. Oh, great spray still coming out from Rock. DraftKings dropped low.
Oh, DraftKings, no way he makes it out. RBN will find him eventually. And so 6 kills on Rock again, really closing the gap to that top 3. And when I look at the circle, I see 4 Happy Men's. If 4 Happy Men's happens to watch back this VOD and they watch it unmuted, boys, you gotta find some proactivity. They're constantly finding themselves in these really good positions, but they're just slightly passive to not take advantage of them. And again, that's fine. It's a learning experience, but these are really great positions for them to go back, look at the VODs, and be like, man, we could have done so much more from here. We could have got some kills here, and that learning, I want to see that confidence build in these guys. And we see a knock at least coming out from the Kira. And I feel like the Kira is probably the most confident member on that team.
Right.
We see him often flexing out, going for those knocks. We saw that early game knock on Miramar against Farivero, so I really like what he's done so far on that team.
So, we lost Luminosity very early on. We lost Mira just now, which is very early on for them. I don't think they had that many kills at all. So, that, again, what we thought might have been a stranglehold at the start of the day, not coming to pass at all. This is a great opportunity for QAD, great opportunity for Rock. Would have been good for Bestia, but they got eliminated. But now PD, what can they do? They're set up on top of QAD. Jam goes down. Block swinging in for an alternative angle, is able to take Cowboy, goes for a more extended spray. Good damage, but BL is joining the fight. Tony still takes Roth down. And that's Alcacia eliminated, potentially dangerous with a full annihilation. Glock, though, is going to go out for their troubles, but 8 kills for potentially dangerous. They are really getting it rolling, where Luminosity and Mira, they're sort of letting things slip.
Yeah, and that's the thing about PD. We talked about them yesterday. You know, when they play regionally, they're able to fight any team. We've seen them take the fight to the likes of, like, you know, a Falcons or a Liquid. Like, when they're on, they can definitely bang with these guys. I mean, we just saw it. They just wiped out Katsia. It just comes down to positioning, and I think late game kind of decision making that kind of hurts potentially dangerous, but a very fun team to watch. Meanwhile, Rock with 10 kills now will get rid of Youngblood, and potentially dangerous at least recover, I think, with 3. I'm not sure if they got all 4 up, but at least have 3. And my goodness, Doble, very far from home.
Lopez heard some shots, immediately looking in that direction.
Yeah.
Now Kira has arrived. Lopez is wrapping around to the side. Where are the other 2 members of 4 Happy Men's?
They're on the south.
They're all the way to the south. Yeah, they're split from this. Good for Kira to get their teammate away. Potentially dangerous crossing the river. RBN's trying to line it up. Waiting for some teammates, perhaps. We're waiting for everyone to get on the beachhead so they can clear all of them out.
Yeah, maybe. So shoot 2. Oh, I like the preemptive smoke. So smart from PD. And they smoked off that angle, but it's going to be a spray from Vinny. Doesn't quite get the knock. And for nothing, have to be very, very careful here, Cammy, because look at Rock. They're starting to close the distance now.
Yeah. Beal's rushing forward. God, Rock have such a huge amount of space.
Yeah,
that
that's
they're
crazy.
holding. Like, so similar with 4 Happy Men's, whereas the other remaining teams are more consolidated to the north side. Shots are now finally coming in. The smoke has faded. They're trying to plant new ones. The blue does push RBN out of that angle, out of that position, but I still think it's going to be an uphill climb. Not literally, but I mean also literally, but also figuratively for PD. Yeah, you're right. It is kind of, but I mean figuratively.
It was a double entendre. Like to see those.
I'm very clever. Please clap.
Please acknowledge me. Nice spray from Vinny. He's going to find Gabriel. 2 members left of the team of Potentially Dangerous. It's going to be Tony on the south side, or the very north side, on the back of this hill to try to be the anchor position. But look at this, and I love it. BL is so smart. He's like, you know what? I'm just going to get as close as possible, and then he's going to strike. There it is. Easiest knock of his life. He's going to get that one down. Now just 1 member left of Potentially Dangerous, and it's going to be on the back of Tony. Can he do it again? He's going to find at least a kill. Another point for his team. Now he just has to go. He can get a 1v1 against Jimu. Not a chance. He's going to close that one out, but now he's got to be careful. Right behind him is 4 Happy Men. Fantastico.
Oh,
with
surely.
a disgusting spray. Love to see it. Finds JMS.
What a ridiculous kill there by Fantastico. Like, at that range of 4x spray, like, still, we see what these players can do, and it still, you know, surprises you. It still boggles the mind what human beings are able to do in this game. And with the shift doing a bit of a medium hard shift to the east, Rock base, it looks like they're going to have this in the bag. We'll see what 4 Happy Men's can do, but with the slow but solid movement forward that Rock have done the past couple of minutes, they are the only team that's in the zone.
Oh, I mean, they've just completely constricted their control on the rest of the teams. Like, they have just put a stranglehold on the circle. They've cut off so much for what the other teams would have wanted to do as far as space and movement and rotations. And man, it showed 12 kills. They are really starting to come alive today. And they still have another game to play after this. Man, 13 kills. Last game was what, 14 kills? 16 kills?
Yeah,
Surely they're
16,
jumping into first place after this one, yeah.
You have to imagine so. They were in what, third? Still like 5
third or fourth,
7 points behind. Well, I think they were third. No, Bestia were third. Sorry. So I think Rock were fourth. But yeah, with Luminosity getting nothing, Mira getting nothing, Bestia getting almost nothing. Assuming Rock win this with the 3 extra points and then the points for the win. Yeah, this is going to be a game 4 first place. With Kira, that is an MG3 at hand. Suddenly, things aren't quite as confident anymore. Still a main advantage for Rock. They're still not to turn it all. BL strikes and shuts that MG3 down.
Don't want to count out 4 Happy Men's too soon, but I mean, it's just so hard when Rock is playing like this. Even an MG3 is not going to be enough, Cammy, as it's now all but guaranteed that Rock Esports will close this one out. Nyx, not even a chance, brother. That's going to be a dub, a fat W for Rock Esports. 16 kills and almost 1,800 damage. And more importantly, just absolute masterclass on the amount of control and space they were able to control in that circle on the east side.
They were already looking good, I think, with the previous game and then how they played the early game out. But the second that circle surprised everyone by hard shifting down to the south side of the river in phase 4, they just took the entire game over. They saw the opportunity and they were not going to let it pass them up. And with Luminosity going out early like we just saw, with Mira going out early, with QAD, you know, going out a bit later but still not getting too much, same with Bestia, suddenly like the top of the field is going to look entirely different. We're seeing a bunch of kills though just then from teams like PD, a little bit from AKM. So I think there's going to be quite a bit of movement on the leaderboard after this round.
I agree. I think there will. Some of the teams that have kind of had slower starts are starting to get things together. PD, not necessarily a team that has a slower start, but I think today overall they've been more aggressive. They've been able to find more kills. You know, they were consistent yesterday. I think they're just getting more kills in that consistency. And then 4 Happy Men's, again, it seems like In the Miramar game, they ended up with a great position, right? They weren't able to convert many kills off that. This kind of seemed like the same thing for them. So again, good positioning overall, but they got to be more proactive. They have to stretch out and find those kills. And then, yeah, this kill from Santastico was just money. Very impressive stuff, and they closed it out just almost effortlessly. I don't want to say it, but I mean, it did seem like it was a foregone conclusion once they kind of controlled the east side of the circle, Cammy, that they were just going to win that game.
It felt like that. They really did. I don't think any of them got knocked. Certainly not in the last couple of minutes of that round. 21 points, again, matching what Bestia made the previous round. 16 kills and a win will give you that much, and then it's a dramatic drop-off in points. But NC Dangerous, still a good number of points for them regardless. 9 kills, 4th place for the singular point there. For Happy Men's, they got 5 kills, 8 total points. So I agree with you. There is still a distance for them to learn and grow, but they're already looking like already a different team from what we saw in the Cups leading up until now.
I think the important thing and their big takeaway, at least for today, watching back for them, if they go back to see the VODs, is that they managed to get themselves in really good positions, even like having some confidence to split. They really didn't get punished too hard for their splits, fortunately. But yeah, they were able to find themselves in really good positions. Their macro has been good today. Again, it's just finding those kills. They have struggled in some of the team fights with the bigger teams, which again is totally natural, but it's a good start for them at least. And there it is. Rock Esports will take first place, critting a healthy 8 points from Luminosity and Mira, who are now tied, and a whole 15 points from Bestia. So great stuff from Rock Esports.
The game has absolutely changed at this point. Like, Luminosity and Mira, they're not playing poor, but they just don't have those peaks, those high highs that we saw from both of them yesterday. And that's really allowing not just Bestia, not just Rezav, Alcatziev, you know, their climb has halted a little bit, but now Rock Esports up in first place, like taking full advantage of that, with every team certainly in the top 6, top 7, maybe even top 8 of this lobby, when every team is as good as they are. No matter what lead you have, if there are enough games remaining, if you give just a little bit of an opening, they're going to take advantage of it.
I think the surprise for me here is actually 55 being at 23 points and 9th place. I mean, for Happy Men's just moved up, only 2 points behind them now in 10th, and they're battling. So it looks like the battle for first is all the way down to 7th, and then the battle for 8th goes all the way down to, I want to say, like 12th place. So we have 2 separate battles going on, but overall this has been a really fun day. And yeah, Rock Esports doing great. 55, I imagine, is going to have to kind of step it up a bit. As we do head into the final game, which means that we are going to be taking a break, but when we come back, it will be the final game, and then we have one more day tomorrow. But first, we have to close it out on Orango. We'll see you soon.
It's so exciting seeing 24 countries again. It's so different than before.
I come to another tournament of PUBG, and this tournament is very big for me.
I won't lie, it's my first time and I'm nervous. 非常的羡慕，然后很向往，所以这一次能参加 PNC 还是对自己挺骄傲的。
I enjoyed playing the game with you guys and enjoyed the nice trip to Korea.
I mean, the boys thought that we didn't qualify. We all were happy because we know that we play finals.
The most memorable is probably just the people you get to meet, a lot of new faces and a lot of new people you finally get to meet face to face.
今年はちょっと、自分がオーダーをしていたんですけど、やっぱオーダー経験がちょっと浅くて、そう味方をうまく動かせなかったっていうのが。
PNC is like an unscripted movie, and I'm very excited for next year.
thank you guys very much for supporting us, and hopefully we'll be here again next year.
Thank you to all the fans from all different languages and cultures. I think it's wild that we have such an intersection here.
就大家辛苦了吧，就是感觉这次是个就很棒的比赛。
It's been a difficult 5 days for us, but I'm thankful to my teammates and all the fans for supporting us the whole time.
Estoy muy orgulloso de mi nivel.
We really appreciate the invite. I hope there will be Philippines on next year.
我的 PNC 也结束了，那我希望你们还是一样可以继续支持 PNC。
Participating to PNC as team friends is really nice.
이번에 처음 나온 나라들도 있고 처음 나온 선수들도 많을 텐데 재밌게 경기력을 보여줘서 고맙다고 생각하고 있습니다.
We have a new king of the castle here in Rocky Esports. One last game of the night on Erangel to see if they can hold on as we set the stage for the final run tomorrow in PUBG Players Super CUP number 3. Cameron Davis joined by Godspeed to take you through this final game. Similar playing path to yesterday, if I'm not mistaken, Godspeed. Will we get a similar circle?
Yeah, pretty similar to our final game yesterday as well. Looking for any potential hot drops, as it doesn't look like we're actually gonna hospital. Actually, looking hospital Sojo area could be a little spicy. Also do see Quattros Contras. It looks like they're right under Razab. We did see a hot drop yesterday with Razab in Gatka proper, and I'm pretty sure they made very quick work of that. Yeah, and it looks like they're not going to be contested again. But look, what is this, a three-way?
Yeah, it's 3 teams going to hospital. Quattros Kono's back off. But wait, they would have been the 4th. There's still 3 teams here. I can't even count that well. They're different colors. What's going on?
Oh my god! Oh no! Oh, you want to talk about off the rails?
Guys,
you know what?
The game's not over for you.
You know what they say about Game 4 scrims, I guess.
There's still so much to play for.
There is
bad luck. But like hospital of all places, no one even drops at hospital as like a primary
so
drop.
Weird. What is going? And like, the other thing for me is surely right when you are dropping and you see 2 other teams going for hospital, they could have split off. They could have went towards, you know, Sojo. There was ample time and space. But here we are, and you know what? I'm for it. Why not? That thing only has 19 bullets. It's not going to get it done. AK switch.
Oh no, this is not really bad for AKM Gaming. Oh, but DM there, they didn't even play with each other.
No.
Oh, it doesn't matter. Damaso still gets the double up. Andy is there for the save. That could have been really bad though. Deeper Team Merlo.
Oh man, the heads
and now
up
Young
playing.
Bloods are out.
The heads up. I'm telling you, man, don't sleep on Andy. That boy is a fragger. That boy is an absolute fragger. And so, yeah, a very quick cleanup there. AKM 5 kills in what is quite possibly, to me, and I would argue and even just speak for you, the most confusing hot drop I think I've seen in this game.
I'll let you speak for me. Yeah. Yeah, no notes. Well said. Most eloquent thought I think you could have about this.
Oh, hold
Standard
on,
circle,
Glock
though.
now.
Nothing too
weird
about it. There's the risk of Sosnovka. I have my eyes on you.
Yeah, this is about the most vanilla Erangel circle that we can get. But you know what I've noticed is oftentimes these vanilla circles that actually can be the most exciting. Because teams are really comfortable with it, right? They're comfortable pushing positions. They know what their rotation or what their next play is going to be. And so we see a lot of fights happen in that early game. We'll see if that's going to be the case or if I'm just going to be proven wrong, which is not unusual. So we can see Quatros in this compound. This is a very... I'm going to take the word very off. This is a good compound to be in this early, but all four, I mean, have they looted? Like, what exactly is the plan here for them?
I don't know. It looks like potentially dangerous. Do you want to take this fight? We have Gabriel who's sneaking in from the north, trying to get a surround into Quatros Konos. Like, as you said, this is a good compound. It's not quite as dominant as it has been in the past, in, you know, previous eras of PUBG. And certainly
even
in
the
this,
circle, right?
Yeah, and then in
just...
this circle, it's like on the edge. So if we get hard shifts in this direction, then it'll be a different conversation. But right now, this isn't something that I think Quatros Konos would want to, like, dedicate themselves to hanging on to.
Yeah, agreed. But they are, so we'll kind of see. And now PD is actually surrounded them. You can see Gabriel on the north side, and they can now hear the vehicles of PD. And I like this. PD is like, you know what? Surely a team that's going to be in this compound for this long probably isn't going to be your LGs, your Rocks. And so they're just going to take the chance, and they're going to push him. And look at this. Tony's already inside the building.
Oh, very fast, so fast. Catching Aki off guard. No respect. No holds barred. They are trying to shut Quatros Konos down fast. And this is the time to do it. There's really no risk of a third party coming in to affect them now. If there's a time to force a fight, a force of 4 versus 4, the early game is where it's at. Bison in play, does not matter. Full elimination, full annihilation, potentially dangerous, putting themselves on the board once again.
Love that. Absolutely love that from them. Again, immediately recognizing that's a team that they could, you know, kind of be more aggressive on, and then sure enough, they do it. Also, something to note, we saw that kind of, that crouch jump into the window. I remember when, do you remember when they were adding in vaulting and
yeah,
when I was playing, a lot of people were playing, we were really worried they were going to take that out because it was kind of like a skill gap thing where you could kind of, you know, utilize the windows, break glass, you know, fake, and then try to jump out, but you actually hang on the sills. Really cool to see that still in, and considering that's been in from the very start of PUBG, the very first iteration, even with vaulting added. So just love that.
Even PUBG has tech for Ferrari peeking. We get the drop shots, we get the Ferrari peeking, we get everything here. This game is not slow if you know what you're doing. Grenades from both squads coming out. H-Fit almost got betrayed by his own door. Burnt a little bit, but shouldn't be too worried about that. Using a first aid kit. But the problem is, surrounded by FN. One teammate left alive, but where are they? NCLS is all the way down to the south, so AKM leaving hospital. About to say they're going to punish for it, but H-Fit at least is able to get another knock on the Lopez. Can they secure that into a kill? That's the next question.
H-Fit and AKM, I mean, they had a great start in that last game. They had a good start in this game, right? Coming out of hospital, cleaning up that hot drop, having all 4 members alive after, but what has happened here with 4-0? The pre, oh man, that was a gross pre-fire, and he's going to run right into it. And so Vinny will find him. Now 3 members up, probably going to recover G-move there. There is a res station close.
But Rayzav is also here. Rayzav decided to join the party. Where did they come from? I know 4-0 came from, I think, North George? Rayzav.
Yes, they did. They came from North George.
Where did they drop? Ooh, and then the BRDM back in play once. We're only seeing it on Erangel.
Yeah, kind of strange. Rayzav was Gatka proper, though. That's where they came from.
And they went all the way out to hospital.
Yeah, I think they saw they probably saw the knocks, heard the fight, and then eventually came up to try to clean things up. But for nothing, actually doing that job for them much quicker than they probably would have liked. They can see the boxes now, and they're investigating. You can see Fisher using that ridge line to get some information.
Question is, though, do they stay out here for to like phase 4?
It's not worth it.
Take 4-0 down.
Well,
I don't know. It's kills potentially.
It's not DM though.
It's not. You're right. You're right. Ah, they're camping the blue chip.
Yeah.
res
Smart.
weekend, yeah.
And you know what? The more I think about it now, maybe that makes a little more sense, Cammy. What if the reason they do it is because they're getting these early knocks on DM, and then they're just chasing him from res point to res point to make sure they don't get the points so they can clean them up? Maybe that's what's happening. That actually would make a lot of sense. Otherwise, if that's not the case, then I have no idea what's going on there. But yeah, again, it's also only on Rondo, so I don't get it.
Right. Well, at least against 4-0. Now it's on Erangel. Vinny's aware of it. Vinny is, I mean, I don't want to say happy to stay in the blue, but is going to play Razav's game with them. We got one player, Lopez, I think, pushing forward. Martin's going to be watching for this. Fisher's going to be calling it out.
What a game it is.
It's a good setup to try and take advantage of this, but no, Lopez is just continuing to move forward, not going for this blue chip. There are more in the game, guys. Like, you can go and drive elsewhere and get a different one, but now Louch is taking some shots.
You can see now, though, meanwhile, in the circle itself, we are about to head to phase 2, but everyone very centered around Death Road, Snake Compound there. You see a wide split, actually, from Bestia. They're in a 2-1-1, and they're going to be the beneficiaries of that shift. Dead center on Death Road and Snake. And now we'll see if... This is the problem. Oh, my goodness. Unnecessary roughness on the rolls. That vehicle just doing many flips. But this is the thing, is it's circle 1. Unless Razav is going to completely commit to this, there is so many res stations that 4-0 can take advantage of. So, like, in the end, I like the fact that they're going for these aggressive plays and looking for these kills early, but there's a lot more kills they can go out for teams that are actually trying to rotate on the edge. They could get in front of a lot of those teams, get a lot more points rather than just spending all this time or 3 phases on just one team. And they didn't even get the points out of it, unfortunately, in this case, right? 4-0 got away, so yeah.
Yeah. If there was some way to, like, guarantee that you could get the points after investing that much time into it, that would be a different conversation.
Sure.
But they weren't even able to do that. I am looking at the overall map. I know we're currently looking at a couple of different teams sort of play footsie with each other. But with that Georgia poll, there is one member of 4-0 still left behind. And Martin from Razav is also still left behind. So there are 2 solos there that are kind of like trying to catch each other out. But the rest of the team, for both of them, are going to try and play the game forward a bit more normal now. Though, with all the teams that are already centered, as you said, what space is there for them to take? They're going to have to fight for it. They're going to have to find the information to know where they can fight. It's going to be a more difficult approach for them because of how late they are arriving.
Yeah, I mean, agreed. And on that western edge, too, I'm looking at teams, like you said, like 4 Happy Men's, potentially dangerous. Already kind of set up. Rock, even. I mean, they're on the south side near that ferry pier, but you can see Bestia looking in their direction. Oh, yeah, look at these sick quick scope shots from Flood. I know he's enjoying himself in TPP.
Fisher discovered by 4 Happy Men's. Once again, they're setting themselves up to sort of try and gatekeep a corner position. But Fisher is making sure to take some tires out. Ooh, takes a lot of damage, though. Good shots land by Doble. Underrated weapon, the SKS.
If you're not shooting super far, I would say yeah. As Vox's BRDM is just getting pelted. But, I mean, you just have better options, right? Dragonov, SLR, I mean, MK14 if you happen to find a crate gun. Mini, MK12. Basically, like every other DMR. And it breaks my heart because
What am I missing? What am I missing? The VSS?
I mean, VSS, I mean, depending on how close you are, maybe. It breaks my heart, though, because I genuinely used to love the SKS. But it's just, yeah, there's just better guns at this point now. Were you ever
remember there was a time that the SKS... What?
I was saying, I mean, SKS before the Mini was fire, right? It was very good.
Wasn't it like the only DMR when the game came out?
Pretty much. It's still very good, though.
No, it's just weird to think that like no one gives the SKS any respect. You know, for legitimate reasons, I will say. I joke about it.
It's like the old man on the field. It's like
yeah,
like the old man, right? The old man. Reminiscing of the good old days. That's what the SKS is, truly.
Back in my day, you had to put in the work and find attachments to shoot straight. These new kids, you just pick them up right off the ground and they go exactly where you point.
That thing naked was a struggle. I mean, you needed everything, right?
Struggle.
That's fair. It's much less now, but yeah, I mean, you need a front end, you need like a lightweight or vert, you need a cheek pad, extended mag, because 10 round mags is just miserable.
Yeah. So the game. Phase 3. Bit of a medium shift northwest, but it cuts out most of the water, so it's more of a western shift, not so much northwest. QAD, still good central position in a nice split. Vox is still rotating around in the BRDM out and alone. We have a Panzer in play because of that vehicle. The LG are playing a lot more loose this time around. This could be an adjustment to their, I don't want to call it struggles necessarily, but the less success today compared to yesterday. They could just be playing a bit more loose now, trying to see what they can make go their way. Sort of like shake off the jitters potentially.
For LG?
Yeah.
I think, yeah, I mean, what it comes down to, we see Vox kind of hunting in that BRDM. We've actually seen him find a lot of success initially when BRDMs were just added to the format. We'll see if he can do it again. But yeah, LG just kind of looking to, again, get their lead with kills. Nice shots from Fake Sin onto Martin. As it looks like, oh, this might be a trade. Two strong teams now fighting. It's going to be Mira versus Rezav. Laucha's going to go down as well. So it looks like it will be Mira getting the better of them so far with the start. And yeah, it's just down to Fisher. Man, that fight in the blink of an eye was just done. Fadavero's going to get knocked from distance.
Oh, Lucas takes that LFP. This could be an opening for Fisher. I don't know if he would have recognized that. Now Fana has arrived. Grenade still zooming in on Fisher's position. Now the molly. I don't think Fisher got nailed by it yet. I think he was able to back away in time, but now Haven's final frag grenade. That one looks to be good. That should be it indeed. This is an annihilation. Bit of a tricky one because of a couple other angles. Punished Mira for it, but still, they got all 4 points from that. Potentially dangerous. Now eyes on the poor Happy Men's. We're currently trying to rotate away and get up on top of the hill, and now where is phase 4 going to go? Medium shift southwest. This is suddenly really, really good for Bestia.
Yeah, very, very good for Bestia indeed. As you can see, RBN, oh, he's just going to go down. It's just now up to Souls. This is a big opportunity for the rest of the lobby. You can see LG coming in to clean this up, to get rid of that first place team and close that gap.
Oh.
Hey, buddy.
Hey.
Oh, me? Don't mind me. I'm just in a BRDM.
Yeah, I'll take that. I'll take that kill. Thank you very much. Grab that point. Don't mind if I diddly do. Now the rest of Luminosity, though, they're here. Vox is basically the scout. That's the strength of the BRDM. Isn't even its like defense anymore. It's just the fact that you can't instantly clear out whoever's in the driver's seat. All this information, Snakers takes Casa Grande out with a nice grenade. It's all on the Solds.
Unless you have a Panzer, of course. But yeah, even then, landing that, making sure you hit them. Oh, speaking of Panzer. Thank you so much, Sam Crow. Love that. As they are going to be able to find the last member of Rock. Souls will go down, and LG, as you stated, starting to look to get a little more aggressive to find these points early in these games, or even in the mid-game, I should say.
Yeah, and all of a sudden we're down to 8 teams. This sort of like slow approach around Death Road has led, I think, a lot of teams to suddenly fighting each other. Nyx goes down to LFP in the kill feed. C55 driving around. Running into FN, who are able to get their 4th player back into the mix. 5 kills for them so far. Pippa and Doble going down in the kill feed. Psycho gets knocks. Lopez confirms that, so that's 2 down, 455.
Yeah, 4-0 with a hell of a gain for themselves so far. 8 kills, 4 members alive. Shifting focus now to 55, but Mira underneath them. They have to be very careful. 7 kills for themselves, as they also don't want to be forgotten about. 1 kill behind what For Nothing have been able to accomplish so far. And then I can see it looking at the north side of the map here. You can see it just off to the distance on the mini map here from LFP with a huge split looking to control the north.
Gabriel pushing up now. Oh, jump! Trying to jump scout, but ends up getting tagged up. And oh, wait. Sees LFP. Has to stick the first aid kit. How does Gabriel play around this? Needs to avoid Vinny while trying to catch LFP off guard. LFP has no clue that Gabriel is up here.
Oh, careful now. Easy there, big fella. Almost goes down. Not that it would have been too much of a threat. Oh, and Cowboy is just farming now. Oh, and he gets another one. Oh, it's actually Roth, but good shots. For Nothing looked so good, but coming into the circle was going to be difficult, even with 8 kills. They're about to... Yeah, it's not looking great for that duo. Lopes and DNL will drive off to the east, but they still are not in. And in fact, they're going to run into the wall that is LG. Look at Snakers.
Yeah, look at that down to the south, getting prepped for a grenade at the ready. Is he going to nail it? A bit too late. They weren't planning on rolling up. They were planning on rolling through. But if you're going to avoid Luminosity, where are you going to go next? It's now potentially dangerous.
One bad luck position to another, and they are getting bombarded with nades. I do not imagine. Wait a second, though. Help from LG. But no, it's going to be the nades getting rid of For Nothing. And again, Vox, the menace in that BRDM. Looks like they're going to back off, though. PD with a good recovery there. Not incurring any knocks means that they do not have to deal with LG just yet, Cameron. But just yet. Eventually they will, I'm sure.
Yeah, emphasis on just yet. There's no way that Luminosity try and take the fight on Bestia in that compound in the center before they take the fight on the potentially dangerous. That is one that I think is likely to happen in the future. Things could change, though. Sampro, last member remaining 455. Has no option but just to run into the circle, see if there's a bit of a gap under the nose of Team Mira. Spotted by DraftKings, get tagged a bit. Stopping for a brief moment, and Team Mira have eyes onto QAD. Good tags onto Roth. And great cover fire by Cowboy. No knocks either side, even with the decent damage that came through.
PD now, though, they have to contend with Mira, and all 4 of those members are kind of breathing down PD's neck. In fact, they've now positioned LFP to be the anchor up to the north, and they've sent the other 3 to deal with the PD. And this is going to be a very interesting fight, because as soon as a knock happens, you know LG is they're looking for it. They're waiting for it. What's going on here? What are we doing?
Oh, nice headshot there, LFP. Yeah, shut Semcro down. The problem is every team here is full. 5 teams, 20 alive, so Sandcrow being a solo would have had to do a lot even to get 1 extra point.
Sure.
Not a lot of cover coming in from the north angle that they were approaching from. Few seconds left before we get phase 6. Bestia's compound will still be in play. By how much is going to be the question. If it's a hard shift towards the west, towards Team Mira, it could cut that compound, you know, not
literally an edge in or a corner. Yeah.
Nope,
it looks like they're just going to get
Why
center.
not?
Yep. But again, this is kind of the issue when you have center compound like that. They have really not been able to get any kills.
Yeah.
And if they happen to win the game, great. It's, you know, if QAD is fighting Mira and PD is fighting LG and it's all happening on the outside and they're not really able to get the kills, it's only going to be like 5, 6, 7 points.
Well, LG, like we said, they're taking that fight against PD. Vox is going first. Fox is going forward, knocking them to the trees, knocking some of the rotations. He's going to pop out grenade in hand. That was whoever that he wanted, but Gats, Bizzler, and now Snakers are all here. So Tony is going to go down. Bizzler gets knocked by LFP. Mira are still going to be in this. But PD, by running away from Luminosity, they head straight into the mouth of Bestia.
Just rails off. That's what that fight was. Oh man, Flood is gonna get a flush there onto a member of PD. Nice nade by Enzito. Right on top of Gabriel's dome. So some desperately needed kills now being delivered almost to Bestia, as there's still, I think, just now one member of PD. Yeah, it's just down to Taven.
Is that some kerosene being poured by Taven on the top floor there? I think he's setting a trap.
It's possible.
Yeah. He had it out for a brief moment. See if that comes into play later on. Just in case you were curious, can no longer recall the blue chips now in the game. I don't think anyone was gonna try. I don't think there's a tower available.
Yeah.
I don't think, even if there were, I don't think anyone's gonna try and get away with that. Not at this game.
Yeah, that would be a shot. I mean, they would just come down as free points, essentially. It's really, really difficult in some of the end games. And we've seen it before in cups. We saw it at PNC. Like, when players come down late, they're pretty much just coming down to deliver some points. Very rarely will they actually get somewhere and be able to consolidate with their team and get some gear. Mira, though, with 8 kills, still 4 members alive, have to contend with LG, and this is kind of a utility battle back and forth. No knocks, though, yet. And you can see for all the movement and all the patrolling that LG have done, they've only found 4 kills. No fault of their own. There really just hasn't been anything going on the edges, or they get there just too late.
Yeah. More grenades. I think that is the kerosene fire getting lit. Tavon is still alive. But Bestia have their sights set. They're trying to clear out this rat once and for all. QAD have made it close. That's going to be a threat. That's going to make it more pertinent for Bestia to take Tavon out. There is still Flood watching over QAD to the north side, while Mira and LG stare each other down. No attention paid towards this compound just yet. Haven gets a knock on a Vox. Confirmation with the grenade and the shift to the north. We're gonna end in the compound.
Yeah. We will end in this compound indeed. They've left Flood in the double balk building, and you can see QAD is just very curious actually if they're going to go for a north wrap, because that is the one that has the most cover as far as approaching that double balcony building. And meanwhile, though, it's really Team Mira and Luminosity still. I mean, there's still 3 members. I mean, they're going to get in the circle as well, and it looks like Snakers is just going to send it. Yeah, he's just going to... Oh, but that, again, you cannot just drive blindly at teams anymore, because with the Panzerfaust, and if a team is holding on to one, that's a free knock if you're in the BRDM. You are literally a sitting target.
Ooh, that grenade. Trying to even the odds. Dealt some damage, but no, unfortunately, it is still going to be a 4 versus 2. Gats, Bizzler, not liking their odds here. Trying to approach this circle from a different angle, driving down to the south. Wrapping up behind QAD. I don't know if their chances are much better this angle, I'll be honest. They're all like, oh, I take it back. Bizzler gets a knock. Gat still goes down to Rello. Bizzler doesn't last too much long himself. But that was an opportunity for one final point, though I think Roth is going to get revived.
Yeah, they're going to be able to pick up Roth here. It's Bestia still with the... You'd give them the advantage with the most control because they're in the center, but again, they are sandwiched, and this could go very wrong very quickly. And this is phase 7, which means that there could be a kind of weird shift, although it won't be too crazy. I think my eyes are on Mira. If this goes more towards the east, they're going to have to make a move, and I imagine that move would be onto the double balcony of Bestia.
Setting the stage for one big grand finale. 15 seconds before phase 8. And everyone's inside. So there's no need for any moves to be made yet. We know Bestia are going to be favored in the next circle. The question is, how favored will they be?
Okay, so yeah, they're going to have to push. It's on Mira. They're going to have to push into that double balcony building of Bestia. Something to note is Bestia is in a 1-1-2 split. So they have one member in kind of the shacks. They have one in the Prio building. And then they have the other 2 playing that double balc. You can see DraftKings just on the outside of it. And this is going to be a slow roll for the team of Mira, as they're just going to come in when they absolutely have to. But I do like this from DraftKings because he's still keeping an eye on QAD. Now, it's not just the Bestia and Mira fight.
Ooh. Trying to crash in. Good spray down, but DraftKings Flood, Haven Fan to go down. It looked like it was about to be a success, but in the final moment gets shut down by Bestia. LFP still up under their noses. Fakeson still up on the hilltop above. Swinging around the side, shooting into the smoke. Shotgun at the ready though for DraftKings. He's looking to shut this one down.
Great heads up cover there from Draft. Bestia, they had the advantage. Now they're down to 2. Still, they get rid of Mira. That's huge. 7 kills for them now, but QAD is going to be on the attack. They know they have the advantage. Just going to be 1 point their way. It's one less res to worry about. Flood will, however, be recovered, so this is going to be a 3-on-4.
Look at QAD. Look at all their angles. They're flooding in from the south side, and Zito's having to play from the smoke. Revive is coming in. DraftKings even grabbing the EMT gear.
Yeah, I mean, that could be crucial when we talk about these endgame fights, especially if there's a knock. If they're not able to push immediately, that res is going to come in much quicker than you'd kind of think it would if you're QAD, right? So, with the potential to catch them off guard, but this is going to come down to phase 9. These teams are just going to wait. Again, they have all the information with TPP available to them, so there's no real reason to push, or there really isn't an opportunity to push just raw, because you can imagine Bestia's using those angles as well.
Bit of a risk there by Cowboy jumping onto the roof. There was a moment.
It was a little.
That Bestia could have spotted him out. But no, yeah, but like taking that risk, taking that gamble, knowing that Bestia were still going to be in the middle of like re-establishing themselves after that fight against Mira. He had time to do it. Didn't get caught out. And now with Rello basically holding the dead center of the zone, it's on Bestia to make the next move. QAD, they just get to sit. And, you know, if no one does anything, they essentially are going to win.
Yeah, you'd give the advantage. I mean, where is this center? It's hard to tell. I feel like both teams are close to center, but if you look at the minimap, it does seem like Bestia potentially actually has the closest position to the center dot. But again, you have the elevation here of Cowboy. DraftKings on that balcony, if he gets naded or mollied, you do see a molly and even a blue zone on the side of Cowboy. That can be devastating.
Wait, who smoked that? Someone was it a team smoke? Like, did they smoke Cowboy himself?
Cowboy,
Oh, okay. He smoked it himself. Okay, to try and play around it, but doesn't matter. Spotted by Flood, forced off the roof. Blue coming in doesn't make it easier either. So good damage coming out from Bestia.
Yeah. Still got a long road ahead of them, but it's not a bad start. That nade, though, on Enzito, that could spell a lot of trouble here for Bestia. Another nade, though. Hold on a second. If he can just get a knock, start to kind of make this work. But yeah, this is the real issue.
Spotted, just barely over the smoke. Molly goes out.
Nice
this
Molly.
One could be huge. It's 2 members of QAD. That's going to light them both on fire. Jam, couldn't vault out of the window. Roth still gets tagged up. It's all on to Rello and Cowboy. Cowboy's healed up a bit. Took a lot of damage earlier on, but sets us up into a 2 versus 2 with a high ground advantage for Bestia. Shut down by the stun, at least for a brief moment. But where does this game end? It's going to be on top of Flood section here.
Oh, never mind. I thought
The
maybe
blink
they
of
would
an eye.
try to wait for that. Yeah, but didn't seem like that was going to be the case. But man, Al-Qadsia. So every team that was kind of fighting or looking to find themselves in the top 3 have pretty much won a game today, which is awesome to see. And today was, as you stated, even from the start, much more exciting as far as like the start, right? We saw a lot more early game aggression. We saw these teams now realizing that kills are king. And because of that, games have been pretty crazy. And you want to talk about crazy, I mean, we can just start right here. What was it, a 3-4-way hot drop?
Looked like it could have been 4, ended up being 3. But there was a lot of fighting happening in the mid game. But then also like 4-0 into AKM, and then Razab joining in the party.
Yeah, and I think the important thing again to note is that the teams that are stronger are starting to hunt all the other teams that they know are going to pose less of a threat. And in a lobby like this, that's just exactly what you have to do. I mean, we saw it with LG. That was a nice nade. We saw it with with Mira, although again, Mira just kind of lets the other teams around them make the mistakes and then they capitalize, but we definitely saw it with potentially Dangerous. Actually had a really solid day for themselves, hunting a lot of teams. QAD as well, trying to get in the mix. Bestia flexing out in most of their games. In fact, started off pretty strong. They got that 16 kill win. And Rock, Rock also going for those hunts, and that's what you like to see. That's absolutely what you want to see in a lobby like this from the teams like that.
Yeah, good finish at the end there for QAD. It looked like it was going to get away from them because, again, the high ground that Bestia had. But with that final crossfire, I think catching the two players jumping off of the upper floors, they were able to secure that win. Still good for Bestia. Ended up with 8 kills. As you said, they didn't have that many opportunities in the early game to get many points at all. So the fact that they still ended with 11 is good for them. They were able to grab a fair bit. Mira, though, 12 points, 10 kills, 2 placement points. And Alcacia, of course, with 14 with 9 at the win. So a bit more of an even spread here compared to some of the earlier games with the 2 16-kill victories that we saw. How does this affect the overall leaderboard, though? I don't think Rock are still going to be in first place. I imagine it is now going to be Mira. But there's also the rest of the leaderboard that we need to look at. Yeah, Mira has overtaken them, but only by 1 point.
Yeah, and even Luminosity still kind of staying in that less than 10-point range of first place right after they lost the lead today. They came in starting in first, and so they're only 7 points behind first, only 6 points behind second. You can see Bestia now also in the 60s. And then Alcacia finding themselves with a good last game. They got 56 points now, working for themselves. Zav and potentially Dangerous now rounding out the top 7. Again, it's a very open door. I'd say from 7th to 1st. I mean, there's a chance that Mira doesn't get a lot of points in one of these games. Potentially Dangerous has been more and more aggressive, so they can find more early game success and really start to close the gap again, especially if Mira or Rock happen to have not the greatest games, which they have had so far. At least one bad game, so... Meanwhile, when we look at 8th place, I'd say the battle for, that spot is between 8th all the way down to, I'd argue, maybe 12th, but realistically, 4 happy men's.
Yeah, around that. Just looking for a brief moment on the right side of the leaderboard, 4-0. Had a really good final game there. They bumped themselves up a few positions, but here is the overall team summary for this slide. Total kills, total damage, average survival time. It being Mira is kind of surprising. Just because we saw Rock pull out a lot, we saw Bestia pull out a lot.
Yeah.
This is the event so far, so this still is going to include, of course, yesterday, but the fact that it's sort of all 3 of them are still theirs, I think is
But it just goes to show you, right? Like when we think about Rock, we're like, man, huge 16-kill game, or when we think about Bestie, huge 16-kill game. But again, you said it yourself, Mira has just been consistent. They've been getting 6, 7 kills here or there, getting placement points. I think their worst game really has been maybe like a 4-point game or even that 6-point game yesterday or today, but they've just been so solid and they've been able to really kind of work this lobby. Rock as well. I mean, even outside of the 16-kill game, they've been consistent on their damage, almost 10,000 as well. You see Mira there, and then Bestia, also really good. LG, but potentially Dangerous on the survival time. I like to see that because they've had a much bigger impact today than they had yesterday.
Yeah. Seeing Zav up in the total kill is also good to see. I mean, they're fighting for it. They're really trying to go for those early kills, but now it's the player summary here. BL at the top. There it is. That's a bit more expected. Snakers has been usurped from that #1 position in total kills for individual player. LFP is up there in total damage. And then BL, of course, with the overall KDA of the 8 rounds played so far.
Also, shout out to Cowboy from Alcacia, and they're on the up and up today. You can see DraftKing always on our leaderboards, it seems, for damage and KDA. 3.7 KDA, not bad. But BL with a 4.3. Okay. All right, easy, King. We see you.
Yeah, did they must have won multiple games at the BKs. I can't keep it all track of who everyone is winning, especially because getting the actual win isn't as important as overall points.
Right. But that is now 2 days down, Cameron, which means we only have 4 more games to play, and that is going to be tomorrow. So as we close up here, make sure you tune in tomorrow for the end of our Players Cup and to see who is going to take that top spot, because it's still very much a battle for first place. So that's it for me, that's it for Cammy, and we will see you tomorrow.